$1.25. Online, friendlytire.net, or you can just stop right in.
Good morning.
Listed at SteveKaneShow.com. 5415 Northwest 15th Street in Margate, and that's just a little north of Coconut Creek Parkway on the east side.
Good morning, everyone.
State Road 7. Well, Conservative Doug, thanks so much. And I'm glad
if you're new here, make sure you subscribe. Everyone else, like the video, if you don't mind.
Are you concerned with the distribution of assets at the time of your
like the video.
Avoid probate.
Just doing a sound check.
With 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach
Okay.
to Carl Gate.
It's showtime.
1-855 FLA 3782.
You are listening to South Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. To call the show toll free, dial 1-888-COCAINE-1. That's 1-888-COCAINE-1.
Yes. Hey, guys, welcome. It's Tuesday morning, January 4th, 2022. Oh, man, I still can't get used to that 2022. We are living in the era past Blade Runner, Lost in Space. So many of the science fiction movies I grew up watching that were about the great future and were like beyond that. And, well, it's not looking that good. Not with this senile old coot that we got running things. Welcome to the show. We've got a lot to talk about today. My name is Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. That's right, we are live in the mornings from 6 until 9 a.m., Monday through Friday, with overnight rebroadcast 7 nights a week, midnight till 6 a.m. And of course, we broadcast on 96.9 FM, 95.3 on the FM radio dial, and AM 1470, as well as the iHeart Radio app and the TuneIn app. Searching for our station call letters, WWNN, will bring you there, and you can watch me in high-definition video on the YouTube. Just search Brian Craig Show, and it will pop up. All right, well, I'm gonna start. We got a lot to talk about today, so I don't have time to dilly-dally around. I want to just start by sharing yet again that here in Florida, we have the greatest governor ever. I mean, there's never been a governor that even comes close to the greatness of Ron DeSantis. And, you know, and I don't mean out of the current governors. I mean out of governors throughout time. Can you think of a better governor? Since that's at least, we'll keep it to color television. Since color television was in American living rooms, when has there been a governor who was as competent as Governor Ron DeSantis? He's America's governor. We used to have America's mayor, the great Rudy Giuliani, another great man and great leader. And now we have this great governor. Yeah, I know. And he's a MAGA governor, too, on top of that. And Ron DeSantis has saved Florida. He has. He saved Florida during the lockdown, shutdown era. Florida has been open the whole time. And this incident that happened with AOC, which started as a joke, is becoming a very serious business. And AOC, I bring this up because Ron DeSantis and Candace Owens always looking to troll someone, but Candace Owens and the great Ron DeSantis have responded to Ocasio Cortez, AOC, and I want to talk about that and share it with you right here in the beginning because, you know, we are in the beginning of the end of this lockdown, shutdown era. By all accounts. It's the beginning. It's not the end yet, but it's the beginning. And AOC is helping bring about the end of a lot of this nonsense because she, like many other Democrats, are on television talking about this restriction, that limitation, and then here they are. They come to Ron DeSantis's Free Florida, and look what they do. They live the life of Riley. They live the life of a Floridian while they want people back home where they're from to live under just incredible, impossible restrictions. And AOC took things a step further. The first we talked about on the New Year's Eve show on Friday, she was out at the sidewalk restaurant without a mask, texting. She wasn't eating, she wasn't drinking, she had no mask on. Oh my goodness. And then it got worse. This new footage that has come out, she went to a party at a gay bar and was hugging and kissing strangers. No masks on, no social distancing. A mass, huge wave of Omicron is going on right now in Florida. Huge outbreak of Omicron here in Florida. There's no getting around that. That is a fact. Big time, big time. By the way, Steve Kane and his entire family tested negative for the COVID yesterday. So Steve is still sick. Sick as it gets. His whole family are sick. They're on the mend. They're getting better. But Steve and the entire family, COVID negative, just so you know, if you're wondering. But still sick with that cold I had last week, but worse than I had it. She goes to this gay bar on South Beach and is hugging and kissing strangers. No social distancing, no mask. I didn't see her take... what do you call this stuff I'm always using? The hand. Didn't see her put any hand sanitizer on her face or anything. Oops. I was a hand sanitizer freak before COVID, by the way. People give me a hard time about the hand sanitizer sometimes. I was a hand sanitizer before COVID. Okay. I'm a little bit of a germaphobe, but that's okay. That's okay. It's okay to be clean. So anyway. So after the sidewalk incident and then the gay bar hugging and kissing incident, the great governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis, had a press conference yesterday. And a reporter asked him about it. And let me share this with you. This is great stuff. The reporter volume is a little low. My apologies. But Ron DeSantis is loud and clear. Okay, here's DeSantis with the reporter asked about AOC coming to Florida, violating all these mandates and restrictions that she wants to impose on everyone.
AOC was regarding masculinity. Here you are, she being critical of your policy, but then she comes to Florida and goes statement about that.
Well, I mean, look, I think if I had $1 for every lockdown politician who decided to escape to Florida over the last 2 years, I'd be a pretty doggone wealthy man.
Okay, now let me go back here because this is something that's unrelated to this. I don't know what all I know about Governor Ron DeSantis is that he's perfect. He's a perfect governor. He's awesome. I don't know anything. I know he was a JAG lawyer. I know he was in Congress. I know he played in the Little League World Series, and I know that he saved Florida. But I don't know about his financial background or his family background. He said he would be a wealthy man. So is he not rich? Is he not rich? Wow, that's interesting. Is he another man of the people? Anyway, that's not why I played it, but let's get back to it.
Well, I mean, look, I think if I had $1 for every lockdown politician who decided to escape to Florida over the last 2 years, I'd be a pretty doggone wealthy man, let me tell you. I mean, Congress people, mayors, governors, I mean, you name it. And it's interesting, though, the reception that, that some of these folks will get in Florida, because I think a lot of Floridians say, wait a minute, you're bashing us because we're not doing your draconian policies, and yet we're the first place you want to flee to basically to be able to enjoy life. And so I'm not surprised to see that continue to happen. I can tell you, I mean, there are probably about a half dozen governors who had restrictions on their people and then were spotted at various points in Florida. Some of it's been public, some of it's not been public, but people tell me these things.
Ooh, Ron DeSantis has a press conference every single day, unless he's at the hospital with his wife for her cancer treatment. I hope in today's press conference, a reporter who wants to make some news asks Ron DeSantis to list all of the national politicians and governors who have fled their states for the freedom of Florida. We know Whitmer, but that was public.
to enjoy life. And so I'm not surprised to see that continue to happen. I can tell you, there are probably about a half dozen governors who had restrictions on their people and then were spotted at various points in Florida. Some of it's been public, some of it's not been public, but people tell me these things, and so these things are spotted. And so that's just the reality that we're dealing with. I think I'm happy, though, that Florida is a place where people know they can come and they can live like normal people. They can make their own decisions. Fauci, again, he's...
Okay, I'll go back to this. Now, this is such a beautiful thing with Ron DeSantis. I saw a map in a news story yesterday. I'm sure I tweeted this. And it showed the mass migration and population changes of all the U.S. states. And I believe Florida has had the largest population growth in the last year because of these COVID restrictions. And, what Ron DeSantis is doing in this press conference isn't just making fun of AOC. He's promoting the great life here in Florida. And one of the jobs of governors is to increase commerce and business within their state. And that's why he's talking about this. He's not just taking a jab at Ocasio Cortez. He's helping the Florida economy. Come to Florida, be free. Bring your tourist dollars. Leave your Democrat voter registration cards at home. Bring your companies, bring your businesses here. Disney, they're moving their corporate headquarters out of California to Central Florida for the very reasons that may be a liberal company, but because of the very reason that Ron DeSantis has kept us free and vows to do so. I remember this is what governors used to do before they all became spokesmodels with talking points and messaging as opposed to doers. I mentioned this before. When I was in high school, Burt Reynolds was a big movie star. That's a long time ago, right? And I can't remember who the governor was at the time. Was it Martinez? I'm not sure which governor it was, but whoever the governor at the time was, they actually traveled to California and asked Burt Reynolds to move back to Florida and bring his movie business back with him. And it was a big deal. It was all over the news. That's what governors used to do. Bring business, bring commerce. Democrats, they're all about messaging. And Ron DeSantis, this is awesome.
Things, and so these things are spotted. And so that's just the reality that we're dealing with. I think I'm happy, though, that Florida is a place where people know they can come and they can live like normal people. They can make their own decisions. Fauci, again, he's railing against the restaurants. These poor people have had, they've done very well in Florida because we protected them. But this is not an industry that's easy to do very well in. And he's singling them out as if that is somehow such a huge factor when there's all these other things that you could be pointing to. I just think it's wrong. But people know they can come, they can go get a beer. They're not going to have to show papers. They're not going to have to do
papers.
And look at what we're seeing now. How big of a failure have vaccine passports been? Okay, if vaccine passports succeeded, you would not see a lot of the stuff that you're seeing in a lot of states that implemented them. And so all it served to do was discriminate against people based on an individual choice, create a two-tiered society. And yes, they are moving, like I said a couple months ago, they are moving to update that to say, in some parts, they're going to say you need a third shot to be able to do. So those policies have not worked. And I think ultimately, look, people vote with their feet. I always say I'm so happy with our Floridians. I'm not asking for people to come move because we've got great people. We've got a lot of great stuff going on. I think we're going to do a lot more great stuff. But the fact of the matter is, if you look from July of 2020 to July of 2021, we led the country in where people were wanting to come to. And I think that that's a result of protecting people's freedoms and making sure that we had a state worth living in.
Yeah, so AOC is helping Florida by coming down here and displaying how free it is. Isn't he great? Governor Ron DeSantis, he brought the NBA here, right? They had the NBA bubble up at Disney World in Orlando. He brought the Super Bowl here. When football was shut down, he went on television and said, hey, NFL, hey, colleges, come to Florida and use our football fields. We got them all over the place, all over the state. And boom, here we are. Isn't he an awesome guy? Doesn't get better than that. He mentioned restaurants in that. Yeah, I know. And we've got a great restaurant. It's a longtime sponsor of the Steve Kane Show. And that, of course, is Wings Plus on Sample Road in Coral Springs. They're the best wings anywhere. And let me tell you, I'm a wings guy. I was eating at Wings Plus for many years before they were a sponsor here on the Steve Kane Show. And what had happened, the Wings Plus on Sample Road, it's about a mile west of University Drive on the south side of Sample in Coral Springs, is just a few blocks from our old studio in Coral Springs. And when Steve and I were doing the show from there for many, many years, I used to hang around just waiting for Wings Plus to open so I could get takeout to take home. And I used to take Wings home all the time from there. And I would tell Steve, Wings Plus on Sample Road has got to become a sponsor here on the Steve Kane Show. First of all, they've got the best wings and food anywhere. Everything's homemade right there on the spot, including the hot sauces. They have a huge selection of not just hot sauces, but a huge selection of sauces and flavorings for all of their wings, all homemade right there. The clam chowder, homemade. All the soups, everything, homemade right there on the spot at Wings Plus on Sample Road. And I said, plus, they're very open conservative business. They're pro-police. Republican politicians eat there all the time. And the timing just never worked for Steve. And then he had a meeting, and he stopped by there one day just to try out the wings, because I'd been telling him about them. He had the wings once. The next day, he came to work with a Wings Plus menu, and we were doing spots for them on the air. And they're very, very good. I mean, they're open 7 days a week, dine in, take out, and even through everything we've been through the last year and a half. That's Wings Plus on Sample Road. Make sure you tell them you heard about them on the radio. And again, about a mile west of University on the south side of Sample in Coral Springs. All right, we'll take a quick break and be back right after this. Don't go anywhere.
Traveling and need a COVID test? Maybe you need a COVID test for work or school.
Steve Kane Show.
Any lab test now of Boca or any lab test now of Coral Springs. They offer all the COVID testing panels you need at the lowest prices, including the antibody test. Results in 15 minutes. Any lab test now of Boca is located in the Saddlefoot Plaza, where Western Beef is, south of Palmetto Park Road and north of Hillsboro on the east side of 441 State Road 7. Call 561-237-5009. Any lab test now of Coral Springs is located on the southeast corner of University Drive in Ramblewood, near the Coral Square Mall in Coral Springs. Call 954-906-5983. Make sure to tell them you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show.
When the pandemic hit America, our nation was caught off guard and unprepared. One of the biggest problems was...
Yeah, I just was doing some production right before it, so it took me longer. Yeah, I'm going to use that for the call-in, that Youngerman thing you did, but I edited it down so I can use it during the show. I took out the stuff about the 90% silver, so I can use it regularly.
Yeah, well,
that helped me. I appreciate it.
That's why I gave it to you, so you could use it.
But the one you did, keep that, because...
The long one.
Yeah. Now. We won't need it. Yeah, we're not going to... we're not going to need it that week. My voice sounds better today because I'm not sick. I finally am like 100% today. That's why. Steve and his whole family, though, they're sick as, I mean, I thought for sure they had COVID.
Get better and then they give it back to each other.
Yeah, in my house we isolate. I mean, we totally isolate. My daughter had it. I had it.
Well, you have extenuating circumstances, and I don't blame you. Absolutely.
Alrighty, we are back. Of course, we're talking about the greatest governor ever, the great governor of the free state of Florida, Ron DeSantis. Oh man, just wonderful, wonderful. And they hate him. He's going to be our second MAGA president, by the way, 2028. He'd be our second MAGA president in 24, but it's still Trump time. We're in Trump time, people. Our number 1-888-GO-KANE-1. So Ocasio Cortez, thank you for allowing Ron DeSantis to have that great moment to promote Florida. Now, Candace Owens, she took a break from trashing the greatest president ever, Donald Trump, and she went on Tucker Carlson to troll AOC. But she made some good points, so I thought I'd share this with you. Then I'll move on and we'll get into some other things. But I really wanted to finish up on this because Candace Owens... she really brought up a couple of very, very good points. One in particular I did not consider about AOC and remember she was on Tucker last night, and this clip is from Tucker. Candace Owens, she's talking about that tweet that AOC sent out that said everybody wants to have sex with her. And she brought up a couple of good points and very specific about that tweet, so I thought I'd share them. This is Candace Owens on Tucker last night.
Listen, I saw this, and I actually couldn't believe my eyes, and I tried to create a sober analysis of what made her tweet that. And by the way, it got worse. She had a second tweet that said, there are sexual frustrations that underpin Republicans' critiques of me, their fixation on me. So she's really actually creating a sexual narrative. And in my sober analysis, I believe that she wasn't sober. I think, alcohol...
Wow, see, there you go. And I'll play more of it, but Candace Owens is the first person to talk about this. I think that makes sense. I didn't even think about that when I saw it, but she was drinking the margaritas on South Beach. And hey, listen, I've had a few, and sometimes a few too many down there on South Beach. Not for a long time, because South Beach, Miami Beach down there is not a place you want to visit, especially tourist. Okay, it's not. It's like the Miami Vice era. Okay, down there again. It's not, the Scarface era. It's not the great era where I remember going down the South Beach. I'd go into a bar. I went into a bar once with a friend, and who came in? Dennis Weaver, or not Dennis Weaver. Who's the, oh goodness. Who's the real famous from Easy Rider? Who's the guy from Dennis, not Dennis Weaver. Whatever. But anyway, the movie stars don't go there anymore. Okay, maybe the rap stars do, but the movie stars don't. But anyway, Candace Owens is, yes, Dennis Hopper. That's right, Dennis Hopper. Yes, I ran into Dennis Hopper, and he was a big movie star then. And it just so happened the week before I had watched a movie of Dennis Hopper's called Paris Trout, and I've been drinking, and and we were talking about the movie, and he was drinking too. So, but it's not that way anymore. So, anyway, getting back to this. Candace Owens is saying that AOC was drunk, that she drunk tweeted. And, this is an interesting thing about intoxication. When people are intoxicated, intoxication is like truth serum. People, the inhibitions leave, and people are most honest about how they feel and how they think about everything. And I'm going to agree with Candace Owens that I think AOC was intoxicated when she tweeted that everyone wants to have sex with her. And yeah, and I'm going to give kudos to Candace Owens. She's the first person to pick up on this. Let's get back. See if she has any other wisdom though. Back to Candace Owens here.
Fixation on me. So she's really actually creating a sexual narrative. And in my sober analysis, I believe that she wasn't sober. I think, alcohol loosens your inhibitions, and I think that she was about 10 margaritas deep in Miami, enjoying the free state of Florida, and she wrote something that was honestly just filth. I mean, how bizarre and immature is it for any person that wants to be taken seriously as an adult, to look at a fair critique of them as an elected official who has been barking about how Florida's doing everything wrong, about how bad Ron DeSantis is, to see this critique and to offer back, well, you know what, you just want to sleep with me. I mean, what are we even talking about? Imagine if any male did this, an elected official. Imagine if Rand Paul, gets a critique, or if any other person, even Joe Biden. If Joe Biden was critiqued and they said, sir, how can you say this about climate change? And his response was, well, you just want to sleep with me. I mean, it's so bratty, and it's so immature, and it's so disgusting to even think about. And let me just say this in case there's any confusions. I have a lot of critiques of Alexandria Ocasio Cortez. I've had a lot of critiques since the very beginning. No, Sandy, I do not want to sleep with you.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, now this is, so Candace Owens brought up two things here I think that are very, very important. By the way, your calls are welcome. If you're on hold, stand by. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE, 1-888-465-2631. She brought up a couple things here. One, drunk. She was drunk on the tweet, no doubt. My tweet, I tweet a lot. You guys should follow me on the Twitter, Brian Craig Show on the Twitter. Mostly what I tweet, though, are articles that I'm going to talk about and things like that. I don't put a lot of commentary in things, my opinions. I save my opinions for the radio or my podcast. So the drunk thing is one. But the other thing was there at the end when she said, Sandy, I don't want to sleep with you. Now, this is an interesting thing. Where does that come from? You may be asking. Well, I'm going to tell you. When she was in school, when she was in college, and maybe even in high school and before, but when she was in college, Boston U, Alexandria Ocasio Cortez, AOC, went by the name Sandy. Yeah, I don't know where Sandy came from, but she went by the name Sandy. That's what her friends called her. And I thought that was very interesting, and I haven't talked about this in a while. Barack Obama, when he was in school, both high school and college, he also changed his first name. He didn't go by Barack, he went by Barry. So what is it about AOC these two, and Barack Obama, Sandy and Barry, what is it about these iconic liberal movers and shakers that have them actually, they're guilty of cultural appropriation, using names of other ethnicities that don't fit their ethnicity? But why were they both passing as things that they're not? And they both went to liberal institutions of higher learning. They surrounded themselves with very liberal people. Why would people that are high-profile minorities today that make so much about their ethnicity and skin color and heritage and everything, why were they hiding it in these liberal universities around their liberal friends, Barry and Sandy? And is that cultural appropriation? But I'm more interested to hear your thoughts on why did both Barack, Barry Obama, and Alexandria, Sandy, AOC, Ocasio-Cortez use these Caucasian-sounding names instead of their real names? Anyone got any thoughts on that? Remember, they're going to liberal schools. All right, those of you on hold, stand by. I'm going to take our break for the bottom of the hour. My name is Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. We'll be back right after this at 1-888-GO-KANE-1. You can call us, 888-465-2631. From the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated in Boca, we have William Youngerman. William Youngerman, good morning.
Good morning, Ryan. How you doing?
I'm doing awesome. How are the medals looking today?
Medals looking great.
Now, I wanted to ask you about a couple things. Now, listeners call and ask me questions. I know nothing. Call William Youngerman. They've got all the answers on these things. But there's two things I want to ask you about. I've heard from people. One, pre-33 gold. Do you deal in pre-33 gold?
Absolutely. We've made a market in pre-1933 gold since 1969 or 67, actually, and that's one of our specialties. We do deal a lot in the old U.S. $20 gold pieces, $10, $5, and as well as world gold coins from prior to 1933. And we make a very fair market. In fact, we had somebody come in and price get a quote on our prices, and they were amazingly, we were over $500 per ounce cheaper than what some of the marketers are selling pre-33 gold for. So that was an eye-opener for us.
Wow.
These TV ads you see, they're charging huge markups on pre-1933 gold, and there's absolutely no reason to pay that kind of premiums. We have it in stock for immediate delivery at very reasonable and wholesale prices for our Steve Kane listeners.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that only are like exclusive pre-33 gold. That's amazing. $500 less. Yeah, but I'm sure the TV guy are limiting it to 5 coins per call at this point. Now listen, William Youngerman, the number 1-800-327-5010, 1-800-327-5010. Online, WilliamYoungerman.com. The address, 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca, on the first floor of the Bank of America building, just east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto. All right, that's it. All right, take care. Take care.
Hi, Tom Laporta here from Laporta Contracting, Roofing, and Building Restoration. We survived the 2021 hurricane season. Now it's time to get your building envelope ready for the next season. Laporta Contracting installs all types of roofs, from asphalt, clay, and concrete, standing metal seam, flat roofs, and slate tile systems. Our building restoration offers complete envelope protection to include siding, stucco, concrete restoration, impact windows and doors, windows, weatherproofing, and painting. Laporta Contracting serves single-family, multifamily, HOAs, and commercial properties.
Steve Kane Show.
Laporta Contracting today for a free evaluation and estimate, and go to our website to see our team and past customer videos at laportacontracting.com. Our number is 954-604-4602. That number again is 954-604-4602. And thanks for listening to The Steve Kane Show.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by Attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782.
Listen to The Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for it.
Alrighty, welcome back. 34 minutes after the hour. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Radio Show. All right, let me take some calls before I get into some other subject matter. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, this is Pete from Fort Lauderdale, Brian.
Hey, Pete.
Morning.
Hey.
Yeah, I think they were young and they were developing into who they were eventually going to be, and the false names, they developed into false narrative people, and I feel like that's...
Are you talking about Barack going by Barry and AOC going by Sandy? Now, I'll tell you, no, it's much... You're too intellectual about it. She went to Boston University. He went to... did he go to Harvard or Yale? Whichever one. I don't remember Barack. But they were surrounded by liberals, and liberals are bigots. And so since they were surrounded by liberal bigots, they tried to pass as Caucasian kind of people. The bigotry of the left. I mean, that's why.
I believe that too, yes. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And that, yeah, exactly. And that's the way it is. They had to try to pass as Caucasian because of their liberal connections and associations in these liberal institutions of higher learning. I think it's pretty simple. I knew one guy who was Chinese who went by an American name because he was really a defector. He was the son of a Chinese army general, and he went by an American name because his Chinese name was impossible to pronounce for people, But he wasn't trying to pass; just nobody could pronounce his name. But that's not. But everybody can pronounce Alexandria. Sometimes people that are named that go by Alex.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure. I mean, mine's
really Super Chat. Thank you.
My real name's Peter, but I go by Pete all my life.
Well, Pete, yeah, but Pete is, that's a nickname for Peter. I mean, they had completely different names. How do you get Sandy out of Alexandria?
That's what I'm saying. It's just they don't mind falsifying anything, and that was the point I was trying to make. But
well, and also Barack, at one point, found, do you know who the first African American girlfriend Barack had?
No, I think I've heard once before, but my memory's...
Oh no, you've heard the name Michelle. Everyone he was in a relationship before was white girls. Nothing wrong with that. I'm not opposed to interracial relationships. My daughter is a product of such a thing, right? But yeah, and I kind of think Barack doesn't like being black. I think he's, I think he likes to,
But he used another false narrative I think he always used was the first black president. To me, he's the first mixed, black and white.
No, I'll give him that. If you, in this country, in our society, if you are biracial, you're viewed as black. That's the way it is. No, I'll give him the first African American president, first black president. Yeah, I'm not going to give Obama credit for much, but I'll give him credit for that.
I admit it. I'm learning a lot from you, Brian. I've only been listening about a year.
Well, welcome.
I retired and came down here.
What did you do when you worked? What are you retired from?
Well, I was a remodeling carpenter for about 37 years.
Oh, a carpenter. That's awesome. Jesus was a carpenter. That's a great skill.
And then the last 7 years, I was over-the-road truck driver from...
Oh, a truck driver. You know, the cool thing about Florida, we have so many retirees down here. It is amazing who you meet. You know, I mean, I was...
And I'll tell you, there's some...
It's amazing.
New Yorkers.
Oh, my goodness. There are a lot of New Yorkers. I know. Let me tell you. I know. You're not from New York, are you?
No, I'm from originally from Kentucky, but my life in Nashville.
No, okay, that's good. That's good. Yeah, I know the New Yorkers. That's the biggest problem. But you know, I'll tell you, it's amazing who you meet down here. And like I remember, I was at a doctor's office, and I was waiting to see the doctor. This guy next to me was a retired executive from the NBC network. Worked with Brandon Tartikoff. I mean, you know, it's amazing who you meet in Florida. All right, hey man, take care and welcome to the show, Pete. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Mike from Louisiana.
Oh, hey, Mike. Elizabeth.
You know,
$5 super chat. Everyone thank Elizabeth.
Yeah,
it always feels like a class.
Kind of low-hanging fruit, you know.
I am paying my dues.
I don't want to say she's easy because of what she said, but she's easy to go after because she says so many things that are so off the wall that you can pick any number of things that she said and go after her on it.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I mean, you know, everybody wants to date me. All right, fine. Well, does Trump really want to date you? Look at the women he's married. All of them are supermodels.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, including the real first lady, Melania. She's a supermodel.
Yeah, that's true. In fact, Melania is not just a supermodel. She's a step above that because Melania is an international supermodel. So she's got actually even an extra crown for that. International supermodel and first lady.
You know,
and by the way, Melania, who speaks 5 languages, is a self-made multimillionaire. She was worth around $3 million when she married President Trump. She came here to America with nothing but her good looks and dedication to work, and boom, she became a multimillionaire. I'm not a multimillionaire. She is. Did that on her own. What did Michelle Obama and Hillary Clinton do on their own?
Nothing.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
I mean, Hillary married because she felt like, well, this is a way I can get to being president, which she didn't.
You know, did any of you guys watch Harris Faulkner yesterday on Fox? Did you catch Harris Faulkner on Fox yesterday? Okay, I was watching. I like Harris Faulkner, by the way. There's a lot of people on Fox that I don't like. But I like Harris Faulkner. But she was wearing a dress yesterday on Fox, and it was I've seen Melania wear the same dress. She was wearing one of Melania's, well, I'm sure a knockoff of the Melania dress. I don't mean the actual dress, but she was wearing a Melania dress yesterday on Outnumbered.
Wow, but you mentioning Sandy and Ted and all this stuff and Barry and stuff. Think about it this way. Ted Cruz's name is not Ted. It's Raphael Edward.
That's true, but Ted comes from Edward, so I can give him that.
And you get what's his name? Kennedy, Edward Kennedy, who went by Ted all the time.
Yeah, but that's different. Those are names. Those are nicknames that actually come from their names. You know, there's another person who's passing. Jim Acosta. His name is Jim Acosta's name is Abilio. You guys didn't know that, did you? His name is Abilio. Look it up. Wow. Yeah. So he's over there on CNN trying to pass as something. I mean, I don't know what his background is, but his name is Abilio.
Wow. These guys are so full of themselves that they think they can pass as a Ted or as a.
Well, what I find is that these are people that are in liberal circles that are trying to hide ethnicity with their names. They're in these liberal circles. They're passing. They're trying to pass because liberals really do not support diversity and inclusion, et cetera, et cetera. They're all about racism and segregation.
You know, when I heard what you said about her being called Sandy, I didn't think, What I thought of was, Sandy from Greece,
Sandy from Greece was not Alexandria. I'm sure Sandy usually comes from Sandra.
Because that's
not Alexandria. I've known people named I've known a couple people named Alexandria that go by Alex, maybe even Allie.
Allie or Alex or even Lexi.
But not Sandy. Oh, Lexi is from Allie. I guess so. Yeah. Hey, listen, Mike in Louisiana comes from Michael. Take care. All right. Oh man, Valentine's Day coming up. And you certainly do not want to wait until the last minute for your Valentine's shopping. No, you do not. And there's no better place to find your Valentine's gifts than MyPillow. And there's huge discounts with the promo code Kane. Now, of course, whatever special you see at MyPillow.com, no matter what it says or what it is for, you can take advantage of that deal with our promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E. But I'm going to tell you what I have put together as my Valentine's Day bundle. And this is good for both men and women, whatever gender your Valentine is. Oh, by the way, remind me, I got something on gender I got to talk about. Mental note. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio listener specials, and I'm going to share with you what I consider to be the Valentine's Day bundle gift. Okay, now first, of course, the MyPillow bathrobe. My wife and I, we got these for ourselves last year, his and hers. His and hers MyPillow bathrobes, they come in multiple colors for both men and women. They even have pink for the ladies. They got a whole bunch of new colors in, and they have a new style of robe. They have a heavy robe, which is the heavier one that I have, and they also have a lighter robe, depending on which you prefer. 30% off with the promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E. And of course, when you get that bathrobe, you need the MyPillow My Slippers. You've heard several of our listeners talk about how the MyPillow My Slippers, boom, got rid of their neuropathy. Yeah. Jeffrey called in, Chaplain Jethro, he called in a week or so ago, I think it was last week, and within 10 minutes his neuropathy was gone with the MyPillow My Slippers. I have the MyPillow My Slippers. They have multiple styles and colors for both men and women. 40% off the MyPillow My Slippers with the promo code Kane. And new in, they have men's and women's sleepwear at MyPillow. Also loungewear, but sleepwear. That is 30% off with the promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E. This is what I'm calling this is not an official Valentine's Day bundle. This is my bundle. The bathrobe, 30% off. The MyPillow slippers, 40% off. And the men's and women's sleepwear, 30% off, all with the promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E. Pretty good deal there, no doubt about that. And they make great Valentine's gifts. And you want to buy the his and hers. Okay, that's what makes it special in Valentine's. You can also order by phone, 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. Promo code Kane. K-A-N-E. We'll be back right after this.
We've got you covered. AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
Do you want immune advice from
Steve Kane Show.
Professional with 30 plus years experience?
Hold on.
Someone
Steve Kane Show. Hold on.
Thousands of clients develop nutrient formulas and is available at no charge. That's me, Janet Cimarelli, licensed nutrition counselor. Call me.
Oh, the sheets are awesome. Those are buy one, get one free with the promo code Kane. I have 4 sets of them.
For your free counseling appointment, 954-317-1851. 954-317-1851.
Hi, this is Lori Kane, and I want to talk to you about Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental Care. I just love Dr. Gupta. I've been seeing him for around 3 years. He always has time for me. He never does unnecessary work, and his prices are very affordable. And if you need implants, go see him because he has the best prices around. Let me give you the number, write it down.
Make sure you guys like the video if you don't mind. That helps spread the word about this channel. And if you're new, subscribe, all right, and click that notification bell. I upload content here all of the time.
Just the best.
If you suffer with diabetes, there's a 25% chance that you'll develop a foot ulcer that can lead to severe health consequences, including amputation. At the sole authority, at little or no cost,
I am the real Brian Craig.
your very own therapeutic shoes.
In fact, on Gitter, Real Brian Craig is my name on Gitter.
To one pair of quality diabetic shoes and 3 custom inserts. Call the sole authority today, 954-597-7060.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for W.
All right, I got a message from a listener. Pauline said, "Hey, Brian, tell everyone that we are having a Trump rally at Southern Boulevard's Bridge on January 6th. That's up in Palm Beach. From 4 to 7 p.m. Park at the Publix and bring your camera." You hear that, people? Trump rally, Southern Boulevard Bridge, January 6th, from 4 to 7 p.m. Park at the Publix and then walk the rest of the way. I think, is that the Publix where Melania shops down the street from Mar-a-Lago? Because a lot of times I park there for the Trump events at that Publix. All right, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. Good morning, you're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Oh boy, good morning. Hello? Yeah, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, my name is Tony. I'm calling from Margate.
Tony and Margate. What's up?
Yeah, I just wanted to shed some light on AOC's name. The Hispanic version of Alexandria is Alexandra. That's where it comes from.
Oh, you don't think she was trying to pass or something? Give me a break.
No, I think her name is probably Alessandra. I mean, I'm not sure which one her birth certificate is.
I've heard her say her name, and I almost didn't graduate college because I had to get through the 2 semesters of Spanish, and I have like a learning disability when it comes to foreign language, and I can't do that thing with the tongue, the trill, thing with the tongue, the thrill thing. I can't do that. So if I were born in Latin America, I'd have like a speech impediment because I can't do that. Whenever she says her full name, how a lot of people do, she's got a perfect American accent, and then when she says her name, she gets all Spanish accenty. And when she says Alexandria, she says it with all the trills and the thrills and all the accents that I've ever heard. She does not pronounce it like you said. Sandy, like Barack with Barry, is a way to try to fit in with their liberal friends.
No, I think actually when she was in school, that was her nickname.
Okay. Her nickname, Sandy.
Andrea, it's usually, or for Hispanics, it's pronounced Alice.
You're out of your mind. You're out of your mind. That's okay. Hey, listen, that's the least of AOC's problems, right?
That's a very clear and correct explanation as to why she goes by.
It is an explanation, but we're going to disagree on which explanation is the real reason. So why did Barack go by Barry? Why does Jim Acosta go by instead? Why does he use a name that's totally different from his?
Well, in that case, it was probably because it was more anglicized than...
Anglicized, yes.
The African, or whatever it is.
Yes, he wanted to be Anglo. That's right, just like AOC.
Right.
Oh, so now we agree.
That's my explanation.
Okay.
I just wanted to call and shed some light. If you don't believe it, you don't believe it. But I'm telling you, Alessandra or Sandy is a short version of Alessandra.
But she doesn't call herself, even when she says her own name, Alexandra. If you ever hear her say the name, she has like 83 syllables when she says it, and her tongue's doing all these weird things with a strange accent that she doesn't normally have. And I mean, that is an explanation, but I don't believe it to be the explanation. But that's okay. We'll never know. We'll never get the truth from her. Okay, take care. Take care. And the real reason, why AOC and Barack get all ethnic is because that's how to make it. And, when I was talking to the caller earlier about Barack Obama, who went by Barry his entire life. Went by Barry his entire life till he got into politics. See, here's the deal. Here's the deal. When I mentioned to that caller a little while ago that Michelle was the first black woman that we know of that Barack Obama ever was with or dated. Dated all white women until Michelle. Why all of a sudden did he date a black woman. Because to make it in politics, in Democrat politics, he needed to be with a black, not a white woman, and, that's true, and he had to be more ethnic and make a big, drop the berry. That's, and there's a similar thing with AOC. Sandy. All right, our number, toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE-1. That's our number. It's a toll-free call from anywhere. In the next hour, I'm going to switch into some other things, but you certainly are welcome to talk about anything that I've brought up here in the first hour of the program. No doubt about that. Our number, toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE-1, 888-465-2631. Now, the groping charges against Cuomo have all been dismissed. They're gone. Janice Dean tweeted this. I saw Janice Dean's awesome. You guys love Janice Dean. Everyone loves Janice Dean. Janice Dean tweeted this. She says, and this was in the response to all these charges of sexual misconduct and maybe even assault. Groping, is that an assault? I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. These charges being dropped against Andrew Cuomo. What Janice Dean tweeted is, if Cuomo did nothing wrong, why did he resign? Good question, huh? Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Good morning.
Oh, am I on?
You're on.
This is Jose. How you doing?
All right, Jose.
Hey, I called the other day, Brian. I wanted to apologize because we were talking about something and the S word came out, and I didn't know that, I couldn't say that.
Oh, you didn't know you couldn't say the S word on the radio? Oh, my goodness. Well. Okay. All right. So what's on your mind today? That's okay.
No. We were talking about some stuff, and you were telling me about a friend that you knew that was, addicted to crack and so forth.
Oh yeah, Ryan was his name. Ryan. Yeah.
Whatever. That's done. No, it's funny that you said that about Barack married, Michelle. I saw a documentary one time with the Clintons, and it went back to when Hillary I don't know if they were dating or they just got married, but they didn't have a child. And one of the guys said, if you want to run for president, you have to have a child. So that was one of the things. Also, Hillary was like a pig. She had hair under her arms. She dressed like a hippie. She was like a lowlife, and they basically had to tell her, you got to clean yourself up if you want to someday, possibly be the first lady.
So she's obviously not taking that advice. I've seen her on TV recently, but well, no. What you said about the Clintons, that they had to have a child. Well, that's why Mayor Pete adopted 2 children. He's trying to put together a presidential run. And he's got the nuclear family of the 21st century is a gay man married to a man with 2 children. That's why he adopted.
Look, whatever floats your boat, man. I got no problem with that. But man, I'm going to tell you a quick story since you brought this up. Years ago, I went to the Adirondacks with a buddy of mine, snowmobiling, and my kid was about. He was probably, I said shoot, by the way. He was about, 9, 10. We went snowmobiling. And the people that we went to visit had a couple that came, that he was, one of the guys was married, left his wife because he became gay, and was with this couple, and his daughter and his son. And my son was there. He was like asking me, like, Dad, what's going on, man? And I was like, I couldn't really, I tried to explain it the best I could, but it was very awkward,
Well, I don't think he probably didn't become gay. He was in the closet.
And he left his wife, and came to be with.
Yeah, I ran into at another radio station I worked at. I ran into this guy that I went to high school with and middle school with. And he was one of the most popular guys with the ladies. He went out with all the most popular girls in high school and in middle school. And I ran into him. Oh, yeah, I ran into him at the radio station, and we bumped into each other by accident. He didn't know that I worked there, and we hadn't talked since high school. And the reason he was there, he was going out with one of the guys that worked on the radio. And I said, David, I said, when? I said his name. That's okay, he doesn't bite, he's out. I said, when did you turn gay? He said, Brian, I was always gay. And then he started telling me about the guys we went to high school with that were gay too, that he'd had sex with. I said, oh my goodness, what was going on?
Brian, real quick, I'm on my way to play paddleball at the Calusa.
Oh, you're the friend of conservative Doug's that dropped him, from the paddleball.
Yes.
Now I remember your call now.
Anyway, I'm driving up now, and I'm going super early because they have testing there. That the testing. They have a testing site there, and they started yesterday. And my friend told me that there was a line to come early, and so I could try to avoid the line. Anyway, my question is, what's the purpose if you're feeling good and you don't have any not symptoms, but symptoms of this, either the flu or the Omicron, which you can't distinguish one from the other when you get tested. They can't tell you if you got the Omicron or if you got the flu.
Well, I don't know about that because what's the point of getting tested if you have zero symptoms? Okay, I have been tested many, many times, but not when I had no symptoms. Okay, when I've been sick, I've been tested, or I felt like something was coming on. I've gotten tested. So I don't see any purpose to get tested if you aren't sick, if you don't have any symptoms, But every time I've been tested, has been either when I was sick, like I got tested twice last week because I got tested on Christmas Eve, and then I got tested again on the Monday after because I was sick all last week. I wanted to make sure, and I was negative both times. So, and I got negative tests both times, and I was very, very sick. Steve and his entire family are sick with the flu like no one's business. I don't think Steve's going to be here today, maybe not tomorrow. They all got tested. Any lab test now in Coral Springs is where they typically go. I go to any lab test now in Coral Springs, no wait, in and out in just a couple minutes. And they all tested negative, his whole family, and they've all got the flu, and they got it bad, fevers and everything. So don't believe everything you hear on the internet. I think it's good to get tested so because I don't want to get someone else sick with my cold, my flu, or the COVID if I got it.
If I was sick, I felt, when I got...
Do you have to get tested? Are you being required to get tested?
No, I'm not. But I was sick about 2 months ago, and I just felt funky after I played,
Oh, you think you might have had COVID? Then go, and if you think you've had COVID and you're not sick, go and get the antibody test if you're not vaccinated. Because if you're vaccinated, the antibodies will show up. But if you've not been vaccinated and you think you may have had COVID, go and get the antibody test, and that'll tell you, All right, hey, listen, I got to run, but take care. It's the top of the hour. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. By the way, any lab test now of Boca and Coral Springs, they have every COVID test you need, no matter what. They have same-day PCR testing as well. And no matter what you need the test for, work, school, travel. Yeah, I know. And I got tested there twice last week. Boom, negative both times. And it's good to know. It's better to know. I just can't stay home unless I really, really have to. I got a lot of responsibility here. So that's, and I like the idea of getting tested. And no wait, in and out in just a few minutes. Open Monday through Saturday. Any lab test now with Boca and Coral Springs. Hour number 2 begins now.
Covered AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
Do you think you've come in contact with someone who has coronavirus? Steve Kane's wife Lori did, and she went to any lab test now of Coral Springs to find out if she has coronavirus.
So I came into contact with somebody who had tested positive for COVID, and I was scared, and I needed results right away, so I went to any lab test now in Coral Springs. It was great. I didn't want to have to stay in line for 2 hours and have a swab stuck down my nose into my brain. It was very pleasant. I made an appointment. They got me in within the hour. I was out of there within 20 minutes. Thank goodness the test was negative. and I can go back to work tomorrow. They also tested me for the antibodies, and I haven't been exposed. So do what I did. Go over to Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. They give great rates for Steve Kane listeners, and tell them we sent you.
It's worth 15 minutes of your time to have peace of mind. Know that you and your family are safe. Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs is located at 955 North University Drive on the southeast corner of University and Ramblewood near the Coral Square Mall. You can call them at 954-906-5983. 954-906-5983. Any Lab Test Now of Boca is in the Sandalfoot Plaza, where the Western Beef is, south of Palmetto Park Road and north of Hillsboro. Call them at 561-237-5009. 561-237-5009. Make sure you tell them you heard about them on the radio.
Hi folks, Dr. Matez here, now with the BioStation West Delray. At BioStation West Delray, we continue to offer the highest level of experience and care you can find in the realm of hormone pellet and hormone replacement therapies. But that's just the start. We offer a full array of age management modalities, including state-of-the-art treatments for erectile dysfunction, sexual dysfunction in women, physical and sexual rejuvenation, and quite frankly, any
Steve
sign
Kane
or
Show.
symptom of aging that you may have. And don't forget, we offer the complete array of all cosmetic modalities, including Botox, fillers, lasers, etc. Better energy, better sleep, better performance, and looks to die for. If this all sounds good to you, call us at 561-320-8893. That's 561-320-8893.
Do you want immune advice from a licensed professional with 30-plus years experience? Someone who's counseled thousands of clients, developed nutrient formulas, and is available at no charge. That's me, Janet Cimarelli, licensed nutrition counselor. Call me at AJ's Natural Wellness Shop at Festival Marketplace for your free counseling appointment. 954-317-1851. 954-317-1851.
Steve Kane Show.
The Steve Kane Show
Hey.
is brought to you by Attorney Barry at the Siegel Law. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782.
Hi, my name is Tom
Oh,
LaPorta.
I hit the wrong thing. I hit the wrong button. I hit the wrong button. I don't do that very often.
You are listening to South Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. To call the show toll free, dial 1-888-COCAINE-1. That's 1-888-COCAINE-1. And now, here.
Alrighty, hour number 2 has begun. My name is Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. This is also the most pro-Donald Trump broadcast anywhere on the planet Earth, I promise you that. That's correct. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE-1. Let me take a call or two, and then I'll get into some new topics, all right? And we're here live Monday through Friday and morning drive from 6 until 9 a.m. Overnight rebroadcast midnight till 6 a.m. 7 nights a week. PJ, hey PJ.
Yeah, hey Brian. Hey, you know what? There's another really big reason why President Trump will probably be stealing the show on January 6th.
Oh, yes.
It's a winter storm Frida hit Washington. It's buried under, right now, it's buried under the biggest snowstorm in years.
Yeah, you know, it reminds me of President Reagan's second inauguration, right? They had the snowstorm and they couldn't have it.
Right, they had that's correct.
They did it inside an auditorium. Yeah.
Just got hit with a big snowstorm. There's below freezing temperatures all week, and guess when the next snowstorm hits?
When's that? Oh no! Oh no!
So here's the thing. I know that they wanted to get together and hug each other, and reporters counseling, and or Democrat Congresspeople counseling each other, and Liz Cheney counseling each other over their January 6th PTSD and, the drama queen routine. But that's not going to happen. So, I'm sure there won't be any snowstorm in Mar-a-Lago that day with Trump has.
Yeah, maybe Biden and Harris and Pelosi should move their January 6th holiday to Mar-a-Lago. Maybe President Trump can rent them out a banquet hall.
Yeah. So
it's almost like divine intervention.
Yeah, I think Congress couldn't even go into session. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Air Force One. Biden was stuck on Air Force One. The snow was so bad.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Even after the snowstorm, you've got, first of all, because the temperatures are so cold, the snow isn't going. It just sits there. And also, even when it melts and then it freezes again, the roads become icy, And one thing, I lived in the Washington, D.C. area. Of course, with me it was extreme, but everything comes to a halt.
Mm-hmm.
Can't handle driving in the snow. They're not used to it,
Well, this isn't the first time that a storm has saved us. The reason Washington didn't burn down in the War of 1812, a hurricane hit, and the rains put out the fires. So, that's right. A lot of people don't know that. There were no they thought hurricanes were because of SUVs, but they even had them back then. Yeah, so that's good. So, the Democrats were planning a big thing. I think they were going to bring out the same stage that they bring out for the presidential inaugurations and have a big thing there.
No, that won't be happening. Oh, by the way, you mentioned about why she called herself Sandy.
Mm.
I think it's from her name, Alexandria,
I don't think so. I think, where she, and you'll think this is ridiculous, but she's not that old. She got Sandy from SpongeBob SquarePants. That's where she picked up the name from. Sandy Squirrel from SpongeBob SquarePants. You ever watch? You probably don't. You didn't have. Do you ever watch SpongeBob?
My niece and nephew do. I do sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah. Sandy is like a scientist and lives at the bottom of the sea and wears a squirrel scientist. Yeah.
By the way, one thing I'm curious about, does she even speak Spanish?
That's a good question.
Yeah, because I was listening.
And I don't mean basic Spanish like, baño. That's the only word I know is baño. I didn't stick to any of it. 2 semesters of Spanish, plus all the times I took it and dropped it. So I probably had Spanish 18 times, and I can't say anything.
So entonces tú no puedes hablar.
I don't know. Do I have to dump that? I have no idea. I was really nervous about, I took Spanish and dropped it more times. I might have broken a record in college for dropping it. I tried every language too. I tried German. I tried French. I tried French again. I tried Spanish. I had Spanish in my first semester in 9th grade in high school, and I got an F.
To learn a language. It sounds crazy. You'll think you're insane while you do it, but the word think. Try to just. All you have to do is just try to think. And it feels funny at first, but you know how you think? Well, think in the other language, even if it's just a few.
I know what you mean, but here's the thing, okay? When I was in my 9th grade in high school, I think it was 1985, okay? And I remember it very well, because all the guys that were like juniors and seniors were wearing the Miami Vice suits, And when I took Spanish, all the Cuban kids these were kids that came over on the Mario boat lift. They were all in the class pretending they didn't speak Spanish. And you know what I mean, for the easy A. So the class was just too advanced for me. They spoke better Spanish. They used to make fun of the teacher because they said she talked so slow. The Spanish teacher talked like this in Spanish. And the level was so high, I just couldn't keep up, and I guess it just gave me a bad thing. I think everyone should just speak English. How about that? We all speak English. And I remember my teacher, Miss Wilkes was her name. Lexi Wilkes. I remember Lexi Wilkes, Tranahan High School. She said, you're never going to go to college, and you're not going to be able to function, because by the year 2000, most people will be speaking Spanish in Florida, not English. And you're never going to get into college without passing my class. Well, she was wrong on both counts. Sorry, Miss Wilkes.
Los problemas fue que Señora Wilkes habló.
Yeah, exactly.
Muy despacio.
What a motivational teacher she was. She basically told me I was going to be a failure and a loser my whole life. Here I am, 15, 14.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, look for the weather on. Look for that weather on Thursday. It's going to be very friendly for their little show.
Yeah. Okay. Take care. Maybe Trump's using his plane to do some cloud seeding and make it snow. I don't know. All right. Take care. All right. Let's take another call. Good morning. You're on the radio.
Good morning, Conservative Doug.
Oh yes, Doug.
I also was terrible in Spanish, and then I.
Yeah, but you were on hold long before I brought that up. So what's the real reason you called?
Oh, okay. The reason I called was the mayor of Miami is saying a lot of lies about great Governor Ron DeSantis.
Oh, really? Is this the mayor of the city where buildings collapse? Okay. Where due to neglect and corruption? Okay.
He's saying that he made things worse for the coronavirus because he was first he was pro both parties, then he split it to be political. Anything you can say to make up a lie, I guess they figure that's the old saying that your life.
Well, I tell you, when I made a YouTube video. I went down to the building collapse site, right after it happened. I made a YouTube video about it. And that's not the part of Miami Beach that AOC's been hanging around maskless at the drag bars. It's the older area. It's the northern end of it. And half the buildings look like they should be condemned and are going to collapse. I mean, it's really a run-down crap area of Miami Beach. So he should stop worrying about the great, wonderful, perfect Ron DeSantis and worry about all these old buildings down in Miami.
Anything for political to try to make Ron DeSantis look bad.
No one can make Ron DeSantis look bad. No one, I mean, and a lot of people have tried. When he has these press conferences, he has a press conference every day, pretty much. And there's always some snarky reporter there, and he handles them with the skill of Trump. It's beautiful. If you haven't followed Ron DeSantis, follow him and watch all of his press conferences. They're amazing.
He's great. He's definitely be president sooner or later.
He's going to be the second MAGA president.
Second MAGA president.
2028.
But then again, these damn Democrats vote. They don't care what goes on to the country. You never know what they'll do.
That's true. All right, hey, take care. By the way, no. Oh, that last caller, I forgot to mention to you last time, real quick here. That last caller, your former paddleball partner, he said that he dropped you because you're not good enough to play paddleball with him. So now he drives like 40 minutes each way to play paddleball with people that are up to his skill level.
Next time he calls, ask him, does Doug ever sing to you? Every time I beat him at that paddleball.
Oh, you claim that you beat him, and that's why he drives up to Palm Beach to play paddleball because you're so good?
No, he left basically because he couldn't take the...
I thought paddleball went out like in '83. I haven't known anybody to play paddleball. It's like the 80s.
And it's a dying sport, I tell you that much. We used to have like 6 courts going. We're lucky we got one now.
Exactly. All right, take care. Oh, real quick before we break, because I don't want to get sidetracked on this. My wife and I watched The Bachelor last night. I'm not into The Bachelor or The Bachelorette. My wife put it on. I watched it for a few minutes and fell asleep to it. There is the wokesters have a new term that I've never heard before. Okay, this is so strange. Okay, listen to this. Any of you out there watch The Bachelor or The Bachelorette? I do like Bachelor in Paradise. It's on during the summers because it's where all the rejects that didn't make it on The Bachelor and Bachelorette get together looking for love, and it's a train wreck of a show. I love it. But The Bachelor, like if I were, when I was single and I was looking, what were you looking for? Your significant other, the love of your life, right? But your significant other, right? Do you know what they say now? And I heard multiple people say this on The Bachelor last night, women and The Bachelor. You know what they're looking for now? I am not making this up, and it's not a joke. They're not looking for their significant other. They're not looking for the man of their dreams or the woman of their dreams. You know what they're looking for? I'm not kidding. My person. That's what they were saying. And the girls and The Bachelor all said this last night. They're on The Bachelor looking for their person. What the hell does that mean? Where did that phrase come out of the blue? I've never heard that before. Looking for my person. See, they're taking gender even out of heterosexuality. It's because they don't want to be gender specific with the language. What these wokesters are doing is insanity. All right, listen, we'll take our break. Our number toll free. I know it's stupid, isn't it? 1-888-GO-CANE 1-888-465-2631. We'll be back right after this break. Don't go anywhere.
Attention seniors and those who care about them. This is Brian Craig. I'm in studio with Debbie from I Will Advisors. She has an incredible new service to tell you about called I Will Advocates. Debbie, what is I Will Advocates and how are you helping seniors?
Well, Brian, over the past few years of owning a Medicare insurance agency, we've learned that there's a huge need for Medicare advocacy, that a lot of people don't have a child or a spouse that can assist them with their medical needs, and that's where we step in.
There's a lot of things that seniors need help with. Prescriptions, doctor's appointments, things like this. How do you help them with that?
If you're having a problem at the doctor's office, having problems scheduling an appointment in a timely manner, we can step in. If you're having issues at the pharmacy, having problems refilling a prescription or feel that you're being mischarged for something, you can contact us and we will step in. Even if you're at the hospital and you feel like you're being neglected, we'll be there for you at a touch of a button, whether it's to call the nurse's station or assist in any other way.
So if someone's in the hospital, they feel they're not getting the care that they need, they haven't seen their doctor, they haven't seen...
Welcome. If you're new, make sure you subscribe, click that notification bell, and everyone else that's already subbed, please like the video. Liking the video helps with the YouTube algorithm, sharing this video to other people that like this kind of content.
Now, they do not have to be an existing client of I Will Advisors to take advantage of this, right?
Oh, of course not. No, we're here for any Medicare client. We can assist in any way. We don't need to be your insurance agent. We're just here to help you with your medical needs.
This is an incredible opportunity for those of you who are Medicare recipients. Debbie at I Will Advocates will help you with your prescriptions. You'll set up doctor's appointments for them, including the primary care physician and specialist, right?
Of course. We'll assist in anything helping you find new doctors.
They'll help you with your medical billing. They'll help you with your insurance billing. If you feel you've been billed wrong by your doctor, they'll step in for that and even help you if you're in the hospital. Basically, what you're offering is a concierge service to senior citizens.
That's exactly it.
That's amazing. I've never heard of anything like this before. So how much does this cost?
Well, for just $20 a month, you will have the security of knowing that you have an experienced, compassionate advocate just a touch of a button away.
To learn more, call Debbie's office. The number 954-345-1214. 954-345-1214, or go online. You can sign up online at iwilladvocates.com. That's iwilladvocates.com.
Hi folks, Dr. Matez here, now with the BioStation West Delray. At BioStation West Delray, we continue to offer the highest level of experience and care you can find in the realm of hormone pellet and hormone replacement therapies. But that's just the start. We offer a full array of age management modalities, including state-of-the-art treatments for erectile dysfunction, sexual dysfunction in women, physical and sexual rejuvenation, and quite frankly, any sign or symptom of aging that you may have. And don't forget, we offer the complete array of all cosmetic modalities, including Botox, fillers, lasers, etc. Better energy, better sleep, better performance, and looks to die for. If this all sounds good to you, call us at 561-320-8893. That's 561-320-8893.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Search for W.
All right, 22 minutes after the hour, I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. I saw something this morning that I'm going to get to in just a bit after the next break that shows how sick and twisted the woke generation have gotten in their attempt to tear down and destroy American heroes and icons. After the next break, I'm going to get to that. Just a little mental note. Sometimes I got so much going on here. I don't write anything down, so I got to sometimes do a mental note. But that's coming up in just a bit. This one will blow your mind. But I wanted to share this, another problem with the wokesters. Remember this story a couple months back? Arizona State University, 2 students, they happened to be white, were sitting down doing some studying in the library, and 2 African-American female students came up to them and said that this is an area where whites are not allowed, that this is a safe space for minorities and racially segregated. Remember this? Well, there's been some updates. Arizona State University, which is where Steve sent one of his kids, a very liberal, racist place. Remember that video? Yeah, we played it on the air. The 2 girls have been disciplined, and what did they do? They made a video, posted it on social media, defending themselves and their racist segregationist attitudes, and attacked the school. And I thought I'd share it with you. Listen to this. This is the 2 African-American female students from Arizona State University that told the 2 white students that they were in an area where whites were not allowed to sit at the lunch counter in the library.
On September 23rd, hateful and racist symbology invaded our multicultural center.
What was that again? Some of these big college words. Hold on, what was that?
On September 23rd, hateful and racist symbology.
Symbology. Racist and hateful symbology? Is that a real word? Symbology? Yeah, these are the girls that said white is not a culture. Europe, there's no culture out of Europe. You know, the Renaissance, you know, Rome, the British Empire, the Louvre. There's no culture from Europeans. By the way, Spaniards, Hispanics are European as well. Symbology. Okay, that's a new one to me. All right, back to it.
September 23rd, hateful and racist symbology invaded our multicultural center on ASU's Tempe campus.
Okay. What happened at the Multicultural Center is the Multicultural Center got multicultural. 2 white students came into the Multicultural Center, and the last thing that these liberals want, these social justice warriors want, in the Multicultural Center are multicultures. They don't know diversity in the Diversity Center. Oh my goodness.
Tempe campus. And make the center unsafe for BIPOC students who were...
Wait, for what? These are words I've never heard before. I need to go back to college. Made it unsafe for who?
Use Tempe campus. And make the center unsafe for BIPOC students.
For BIPOC? Did she say BIPOC students? What is a BIPOC student? And it's unsafe because the Multicultural Center is now multicultural with 2 white students in there?
Who were trying to study. The 2 white men, both students, displayed a Police Lives Matter sticker.
Oh my goodness, a Police Lives Matter sticker? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. A Police Lives Matter sticker, God forbid. You save up your whole life to send your kids to college, and look what happens.
Displayed a Police Lives Matter sticker, a Bass Pro hat,
a Bass Pro hat! Oh my goodness. Jerry Reed, if he were still alive. A Bass Pro hat, because the only people that like bass fishing are white people? Are you kidding? We got a lake by my house stocked with bass, and most everyone fishing out of it is African American. Or they could be Caribbean American. Well, they're black. I don't know. I don't go back and check their nationality or anything. But only white people fish for bass. You learn something I need to go back to school to Arizona State University.
Displayed a Police Lives Matter sticker, a Bass Pro hat, a Chick-fil-A cup.
Oh my goodness, they were drinking Chick-fil-A. You can't make this up. You can't make this up. Oh, BIPOC is people of color. Pi. Is it pi? Oh, okay. So they had these racist son of a guns, Police Lives Matter sticker. I think one of them was a cop. A Bass Pro hat that she calls a Brass Po. And they were drinking from a Chick-fil-A cup. Well, it doesn't get more... I mean, my goodness. I drink from Chick-fil-A cups all the time.
Were trying to study. The 2 white men, both students, displayed a Police Lives Matter sticker, a Brass Pro hat, a Chick-fil-A cup, and an anti-Biden t-shirt.
Oh my, an anti-Biden t-shirt. So there's cultural and political diversity in the multicultural center, and there's also diversity of thought politically. This is the last thing we want on college campuses. We want everyone to be the same color and have the same beliefs.
The Police Lives Matter sticker was on one of the white man's laptop, which was clearly directed towards a black woman who was leading the black study tables across from him, as the boys chose to sit across from the black study tables. The boys made the space uncomfortable with their nonverbal aggressive gestures.
Oh, they made them uncomfortable. I've been uncomfortable my whole life, okay? I'm uncomfortable right now listening to this. By the way, she's not very articulate. It's laptops plural.
Gestures directed towards the black woman. The students called for help from ASU.
They called for, there's white boys here, and they're drinking from Chick-fil-A cups. Help us, help us. Who'd she call for help? The cops? Whose lives don't matter, according to her?
For over 30 minutes. So we were forced to confront these men by ourselves. After this incident, we received thousands of rape, death, and lynching threats on our personal Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and email accounts. It's been more than 2 months since the incident, and Zara and I received these threats every single day. ASU was aware of how we were getting doxxed and suffering psychological and emotional violence by white supremacists.
What? Suffering psychological violence? You know, there's such a thing as having too much education. Not that these are intellects. Sometimes kids can get too much education, and as opposed to going out and getting a damn job and working their way through college like I did. Okay, it took me a long time, and I was a little older than than most of the students. I used to joke around, I better graduate before my daughter, who was like in elementary school at the time. But obviously too much education, too much, when I was that age, I didn't have time to think about these types of things because I, was busy working and doing other things. They got too much time on their hands and too much liberal arts education.
White supremacists from across the country, but it still did not protect us. Instead, they launched an investigation against us, and we had to mobilize the community to protect ourselves from being kicked out by the institution. ASU's investigation found us guilty of interfering with university activities.
Yeah, because you cannot racially segregate in this country, all right? It's illegal. Martin Luther King made it that way. Thank you.
Dear white people, aka ASU, you openly discriminated against us on November 16th when you handed down your decision from your racially biased investigation. We are being persecuted for defending our multicultural center from racism and sexism. You gave us 2 punishments. The first one was a warning, and the second one was to write a 3-page paper on how next time when we talk with white people about race and society, we will be civil.
Okay, when we talk to white people, we'll be civil because they can be uncivil with white people. When I was in high school, my first regular job, I was talking about this the other day, was working at Publix. I was a bag boy and a stock guy and everything in Publix. Is when I was in high school. And there was one, I worked at the Publix on Davie Boulevard in Fort Lauderdale. You guys familiar with Fort Lauderdale? Publix is still there. It's in a new building. They tore down, it was so long ago, the Publix I worked in was tore down and rebuilt. But because of the location, there were a lot of people that were out on probation and parole that worked there. And there was one guy who was black. And he was ordered by the judge to work at Publix as a bag boy. This is a true story. And you know why the judge ordered him to work at Publix as a bag boy? Now this was like 85, 86-ish, 87, something like that. He was so racist, the judge ordered him to work at Publix as a bag boy so he would have interactions with white people. so that he could learn to get along with white people. That's a true story. You know, so this is a problem that's been around for a while.
This video is in fulfillment of our educational intervention. We're going to give ASU an educational intervention on why telling students of color at ASU to be more civil in the face of white supremacy and neo-Nazism on this campus is actually violent. ASU is a violent place. Just last week, there was an Islamophobic attack at ASU in which pages from Quran Majid, the holiest book for Muslims, were ripped apart and burnt for Muslim students to find in the interfaith room.
Well, that's wrong. If that happened, that's wrong. That would be a hate crime.
Interfaith room is the only place on campus where Muslim students are told they should pray in. Meanwhile, there are multiple small rooms in the Multicultural Center at ASU Tempe that Muslim women who are looking for a private place to pray in are locked out of. We are told the reason that Muslim women cannot use those small spaces to pray in is because it would not be equal. You see, this is the problem. ASU does not understand the difference between equity and equality.
Yeah, I don't either. What is the difference between equity and equality? I know equity is that union, right? But what's the... ASU doesn't understand the difference between equity and equality. And you know what? I don't either. Can somebody tell me the difference between equity and equality? Does equity involve, like, money? I don't know.
Is because it would not be equal. You see, this is the problem. ASU does not understand the difference between equity and equality, and ASU refuses to center the most marginalized. In addition to that hate crime, around October 31st, another hate crime happened at ASU, Tempe, where anti-Semitism flyers littered the campus. These flyers had an ASU registered student club, the College Republicans United, on the flyer. This is the same club that raised money for Kyle Rittenhouse.
Oh my goodness. God forbid somebody raise money so that someone can use their constitutional right to put up a defense, and he was acquitted.
And these are just the attacks that have happened since our own viral incident on September 23rd. This tells you a little bit about the type of environment, the toxic place that ASU wants us to be civil in.
Okay. Oh my goodness. They're trying to be Diamond and Silk. That, like, if Diamond and Silk were Black Panthers and inarticulate, they'd sound like them. All right. If you're on hold, stand by. I'd like to hear your thoughts on this. They're very upset. The Multicultural Center was multicultural. We cannot allow this. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE-1, 888-465-2631. Those of you on hold, stand by. We'll be back to your calls after this break.
We've got you covered. AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
Do you think you've come in contact with someone who has coronavirus? Steve Kane's wife Lori did, and she went to any lab test now of Coral Springs to find out if she has coronavirus.
So I came into contact with somebody who tested positive for COVID, and I was scared, and I needed results right away, so I went to any lab test now in Coral Springs. It was great. I didn't want to have to stay in line for 2 hours and have a swab stuck down my nose and in my brain. It was very pleasant. I made an appointment. They got me in within the hour. I was out of there within 20 minutes. Thank goodness the test was negative, and I can go back to work tomorrow. They also tested me
Steve
for
Kane Show.
and I haven't been exposed. So
Hold on. Steve Kane Show. Hold on.
It's worth 15 minutes of your time to have peace of mind and know that you and your family are safe. Any lab test now of Coral Springs is located at 955 North University Drive on the southeast corner of University and Ramblewood near the Coral Square Mall. You can call them at 954-906-5983. 954-906-5983. Any lab test now of Boca is in the Sandalfoot Plaza where the Western Beef is, south of Palmetto Park Road and north of Hillsboro. Call them at 561-237-5009. 561-237-5009. Make sure you tell them you heard about them on the radio.
Brian Craig here. You've heard Steve Kane talk about the great job Tom Laporta at Laporta Contracting did on his new roof. We have on the line John from Wellington, one of our regular callers. He just had his roof repaired by Laporta Contracting, and he wanted to share his experience.
Thanks to the Steve Kane Show, my roof repairs were just completed by Laporta Contractors. They were fast, professional, and the cost of the repairs was very reasonable. I had 4 sections of roof repaired, and upon initial inspection, they were honest and told me that my roof was good and I didn't need a new one. I called many roofers, and they were all scammers. They all wanted to put on a new roof, and they said they wouldn't repair what I had. Thanks, Brian. Another fantastic sponsor.
Wow, that's an amazing testimonial from John in Wellington. Tom Laporta at Laporta Contracting will never sell you a roof that you don't need. Give him a call for a no-charge inspection of your roof. 954-604-4602. That number rings directly to Tom Laporta's cell phone. 954-604-4602. And online, LaportaContracting.com.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by Attorney Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782. Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio.
Well, you guys taking issue with me can call me on the air. All right, 20 minutes before 8, it's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian. This is, of course, Florida's longest-running radio show. Steve's still sick. His entire family sick as hell with a flu, and everyone was COVID tested. Steve got COVID tested again yesterday. Everyone's negative. It's just a flu or cold. I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but it's one of those things. Probably what I had last week, but worse. So I don't think Steve will be with us today. But hopefully he'll be back tomorrow. All right, let's go to our phones. Wisconsin Gary. Hey, Gary.
Good morning, Brian. How are you today?
I'm doing all right.
I've been speaking with Rome while I've been waiting on the phone and stuff. She is watching on the TV.
Oh, let me slow down. Rome is one of our many listeners that have... COVID's going around in this listening audience. I know so many people that are telling me that they're sick. They think they have COVID. Some of them have COVID. And Rome is one of the sick, and I was worried about her. So you're talking to her. She's doing okay.
She's still kind of with her lungs and stuff. I've been just basically texting her back and forth and stuff because it's not really good to talk to her on the phone.
Well, I left a message for her online. I don't know if she saw it, but I told her that she should go to the hospital, that she should call 911 and go to the hospital, that she's very, very sick.
Right, so if everybody can put a prayer out for her, that she gets better and everything, and hopefully from there on that God will heal her up. So, of this college thing, boy, I'd hate to see any of these people that are in the medical field and probably argue whether or not if you're supposed to get this kind of medication or what, because right now, both of them that are on there sound like they're really obtuse. So,
well, when they talk about white supremacist, anyone who is white is a white supremacist to them. And let me tell you, that is they are sad. They are so racist. They have no idea they're racist, and they truly, truly need some type of, I don't know, deprogramming. I mean, what do they, there have been people in the past that were like white supremacist Klansmen and neo-Nazis, and they would go through some type of transformations. I mean, I don't know, I don't know how you deprogram someone like that, but those two girls right now they're gone.
And I'm kind of surprised with the college. They were complaining about that they got, notification from the college about their action, and it's like, I've always told a lot of people in my life, it's like, do you really want to pick a fight and that that you might not win because the blowback will probably come back to you? So, I mean, with them getting all these threats, whether if it's Democrat or Republican, you get all this flag back for what your actions are.
Well, I don't know if I believe them, and I'll tell you why. The way they are, why did they not read these messages that they're getting on the video or show them? You know, and I think they, on occasion, you guys watching me on YouTube, I'll get some wonderful fan mail here at the radio station, and I'll open and read it on the air, and sometimes it's not very nice. You know, so if they were, I don't know if they've gotten threats on Instagram or not, but I think if they were getting the things that they claim because they desperately want validation for their racism and defense, they would read them and show them and share them, and they didn't do any of that.
They're looking to try gaining more support and thinking that probably had happened.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so,
yeah.
I'm really kind of scared for some of the future because, I mean, the way this is going nowadays with this woke thing, God help us. I'm just really scared of what the outcome is going to be, and especially when I get older or if I'm in a nursing home and oh my goodness.
Well, no, this is we're in a there'll be a big backlash to all of this. You know, before we were around, you know, the '60s, that '60s era, there was a crazy time, and people were scared, and it went into the early '70s. And I mean, look at, you know, Kent State. That here you had a group of college students attacked these National Guardsmen, and the National Guardsmen, they were defending themselves from the attack. It turned into I mean, things were crazy back in the late '60s, early '70s. And we got through that. So, you know, this is a phase, and I mean, you know, this woke stuff that's going on, I think people are getting pretty fed up with it. And Arizona State University, where they're from, is one of the most liberal, racist places in the country, and even they have punished these two racist girls. So that tells you, you know, that tells you. All right, Gary, take care. Thanks for the call. All right. 1-888-GO-CANE-1. 888-465-2631. I just looked at the clock. I took that last break late. If you're on hold, stand by. I'm going to take a quick break and then back with your calls at 1-888-GO-CANE-1 right after this.
Steve Kane Radio listeners love Champagne Automotive Repair in Boca.
I went over to Champagne Automotive, and I got to say that this man is the most fair mechanic I have dealt with in my entire life.
Anyone in the chat who's got some issues with me, I see some comments there. For me to address it, you got to call me on the air. Call me out on the air. Stand up for what you believe in, and we'll deal with it on the air. I'm not going to respond off the air.
And he is just the best thing that's happened to this family as far as car maintenance goes. It's fixed. Bottom line, it's fixed, and the price was right.
Champagne Automotive Repair in Boca will never do a repair on your car that your car doesn't need. And their prices are low. Champagne Automotive Repair in Boca. Give them a call. 561-245-8101. 561-245-8101. Steve Kane just had GoPro over at his house to trim his trees. On the line, we have Nathan. He's the owner of GoPro. He's going to tell you what he did over at Steve's house and why you should call him to help you with all of your landscaping needs. Nathan?
So the biggest thing we did over at Steve's house, his trees were all overgrown. You couldn't even see the house, the yard, and grass was starting to die because there was so much shade from the trees being overgrown for such a long time. So we came in, we looked at the trees, did an assessment, pruned them structurally so that way the trees are balanced and even to make sure that there was no possibility of them coming down in the storms. We did 2 Royal Poinciana trees, one in the front yard and one in the backyard. Also, one of the Royal Poincianas in the front yard was actually choking out one of the oak trees. So now by trimming them back, the oak tree can come back to life and provide a nice healthy tree for Steve. The reason why you should hire the professionals here at GoPro over the guy with just the truck who's mowing the grass next door is our guys are trained in the different types of trees and identifying how to properly prune the tree so it's structurally healthy, not to over trim them. The thing that we do over the competition is we make sure we do it right. Make the proper cuts on the tree, trim the tree properly so that way the tree can come back healthy. We service anything from residential, single family home all the way up to large HOAs, commercial buildings, whatever the customer has a need for, we can service.
Give Nathan at GoPro a call right now. He'll give you a free estimate. 954-680-7739. 954-680-7739. Make sure you tell him you heard him on the radio. 954-680-7739.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWNN.
All right, and man, I tell you, between Tom Laporta at Laporta Contracting, putting new windows and a new roof on Steve's house, and then having GoPro come out and trim all the trees, I mean, Steve's house is like a palace again. It looks beautiful. All right, our number 1, 888-GO-CANE-1. It is open phones over the things I've covered in the last almost 2 hours. Let's try to keep it, because I brought up, I think, a lot of good content today, and I have more that I'll get to after the top of the hour. I haven't gotten to everything yet. Our number 1, 888-GO-CANE-1. 888-465-2631. Open phone so long as it's involving what I brought up on the air since 6 a.m. All right? Nothing else. All right, good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. It's Andrea.
Oh, hey, Andrea. What's up?
Well, I just want to talk about these 2 girls. So one of the things that they said is that they had to intervene. So they flipped their cameras on to record a video to get their 15-minute dopamine jack of being famous, right, being social justice warriors. And then what happened? Not only did they receive backlash for it, then they got consequences to their actions.
Coffee
which
is too hot.
Something they are not familiar with.
Yes, they didn't get their way. And consequences.
They should have thrown them out. And this is what I hope. I hope the 2 boys
I
that
certainly
they
do. Let's
harassed,
see here what comes up next.
I hope their parents file an active lawsuit.
Oh, that'd be wonderful. Benjamin Crump can represent them.
This is what the problem, well, this isn't a problem in my opinion. It's, again, consequences. These girls, by doing what they did, have now made themselves unemployable because no company is going to take on that.
I don't know. They seem like they would fit in very well at ESPN. Yeah.
You have to kind of think past what you see, right? Because when you're an employer, even at ESPN, even at some of these very liberal places, if you're offended by a Chick-fil-A cup.
Yeah, that's a trigger. A Chick-fil-A cup is a trigger of white supremacy.
But these girls could very well be offended at pencils. You know what I mean? Like, if you're so easily...
These girls are offended and triggered at everything. Now, I'm glad you called, Andrea, because you did something last night that was inappropriate, and I didn't care for it. And I'm gonna tell people what this is, and I'm doing this on the air for a particular reason. Okay, I give everyone grief, but this grief is very well deserved. My podcast, which has been named the number 3 must listen to podcast. I got my title wrong. The number 3 must listen to conservative podcast in America, the Brian Craig Show podcast. Number 1 was named Mark Levin. Number 2, Glenn Beck's The Blaze. Number 3, the Brian Craig Show podcast that I co-host with my wife. I'm on most podcast platforms, but I also upload my podcast on my YouTube channel. And when I do that, I do a live premiere, so there's a live chat room going on. And people that are listening can comment as to what's going on during the show and on the show. Now, and I didn't see this at first. I went back and saw this. You made a comment in the chat room last night that I think was inappropriate, and I think it was disrespectful. Not that it's okay. It's okay to disrespect me, but I think it was not just disrespectful to me. I think it was disrespectful to my wife, and I really didn't appreciate it too much when I saw this. In fact, you made a comment that was so inappropriate that some people took screenshots of it and sent it to us, sent it to me and my wife. Well. I'm not going to say what it is, but you know what it was. If you can't figure it out now, you'll think about it in a minute. But, and I don't know if the chat is available on my podcast last night. You guys can go and check it out and look for it, and the comment is there. I did not delete it. It is there, and it was inappropriate. And what it was, if I would have seen it live, I would have called you out on it right there when you did it, before people took screenshots and sent it to my wife and me. And what it was an overly flirtatious comment that you had made, and the phrase that you used was not, because Andrea, when you're in the chat room, in particular in my podcast chat room, you and half the guys in there are flirting with each other. Okay, and the comment you made was an overly flirtatious comment that you just don't make. Yeah. The phrase that you used, you just don't make a comment like that to a guy, especially a married man, where his wife's at too. So I'm not going to say no. I'm sorry. No.
So, first of all, I completely 100% respect your wife and your marriage. So if it came off like that.
Oh, it came off like that. And I didn't see it when it happened live. It was during the podcast last night. And the screenshot messages started coming through from multiple people. And I went back and looked at it, and I was pissed off about it. And it was, you are, hey, listen, you're a flirtatious personality with, I can tell because I see your interchanges with the guys in the chat room. That's how you are, and that's how the guys are with you for whatever reason. I don't know. But that comment you made in regards to me was very wrong. And it's not an apology to me that you owe. You owe an apology to my wife. I was really upset about it. And it was very disrespectful.
I absolutely adore your wife. I meant absolutely no disrespect. And you know what? I'm kind of... I will just remove myself. Feel not offended by it?
It was I don't want to say what it was, but if you know what you said, it was not right. It was very disrespectful.
I do not know what I said.
Well, I think somebody might tell you off the air, because I don't want to say it on the air. And it sounds like you didn't mean it, but it was bad. It was bad. It was bad, and it was. I just, and it didn't just it upset me, and it upset my wife, and I don't mind people upsetting me, but upsetting my wife, I don't really like that.
First of all, I just apologize to you, and now you won't have to worry about it because I will remove myself from this situation.
Hold on.
Right. I don't even know what I said.
Okay.
There was some chatter last week from a caller.
Yes, it was. Yes, there was a caller last week that said something which I didn't care for either, and but it was you put that together with the comment, and it's not the space where married men should be. I mean, I know maybe you meant it as a joke, and I get it, but it's just not. It just didn't come off that way, especially with the caller from the other day.
I did not care for what that caller said.
Hey, Janet.
I have respect for you and your marriage. Apology accepted, and I got to run for a break, but apology accepted. I'm sure my wife appreciates that too if she's listening. I don't know if she's listening right now, but okay. But I just could not let that fly because it was out there with all those people to see. But hey, listen, Andrea, take care. I got to run. Thanks for the call, and it's time to check in with Janet Cimarelli. That's right, with the Morning Health Report. Janet Cimarelli, good morning.
Good morning to
you, Brian and Steve, and a Happy New Year. And typically with health focus for the new year, so many people with their New Year's resolutions, they want to address weight loss. And of course, at AJ's Natural Wellness Shop, we have a variety of different approaches, recommendations for weight loss. But I think also on people's minds these days is how to keep healthy, how to minimize the risk of having a cold or the flu or COVID. And keep you healthy. We have curcumin that is so important for keeping inflammation down. When you keep inflammation down, you are not so vulnerable to a variety of different microbes out there. And we have glutathione. So many people out there are buying NAC, N-acetylcysteine, and yes, indeed, it reduces inflammation. It minimizes the impact of phlegm and mucus. But it also is meant to protect your healthy cells by enhancing glutathione levels. So glutathione, you can enhance to the max with the glutathione wearable patch. You get so much higher levels of blood levels glutathione. Then, of course, that nasal spray, Nutramastic nasal spray, wipes out the virus in your nose. So any kind of a virus that's going to make a negative impact on your health, create a cold, a headache, sinus congestion, inflammation, all of that addressed with the Nutramastic nasal spray. So, weight loss, support your immune system, of developing any kind of infection. And that's what we offer you at AJ's Natural Wellness Shop in the festival.
Yeah, and, you know, AJ's Natural Wellness Shop in the Festival Marketplace, very easy to find. Of course, the festival is just east of the Turnpike on the south side of Sample. And if you go in the main entrance, which is where I usually go in when I go to the festival, walk through the main entrance, go back towards the food court, and right before the food court, look west, you'll see the information booth. That is where AJ's is located. And today is Tuesday, and every Tuesday and Friday, and today's Tuesday, so today's the first day of the week, at 10 a.m. on all of our radio stations, including the iHeartRadio app and the TuneIn app, you can catch Janet Cimarelli with her health and nutrition program right here. So check that out. It's a very interesting show. You'll learn a lot of good information. And Janet Cimarelli, being a licensed nutrition counselor, is available at no charge to meet with you to discuss all things nutraceutical. But they do ask that you make an appointment because Janet is in demand. It's no charge, but you got to make an appointment. Now, you can make an appointment while you're in person, or you can call ahead. Okay, and the number over at AJ's is 954-317-1851. 954-317-1851. All right, Janet, we'll talk tomorrow.
We will. Have a health.
All right, take care. All right, 2 hours down, 1 to go. Back right after this.
We've got you covered. AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
Hey guys, Brian Craig here. I have the MyPillow slippers at Mike Lindell. He's right. These are the most comfortable slippers I've ever worn. And you can get them for 40% off at MyPillow.com with the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E. One of our listeners called in on the air and told us about his experience with the MyPillow My Slippers.
Brian, I have the MyPillow slippers, and I have neuropathy. These are fantastic slippers.
Really? Which ones do you have? Which style do you have?
The fur-lined one.
Oh, the slip-on fur-lined ones?
Yeah, inside, outside.
What is neuropathy, and what are the symptoms?
Well, the nerves in your feet start going bad, and it affects your balance,
and it's painful.
So you're wearing the MyPillow My Slippers, which, by the way, 40% off with the promo code Kane, K-A-N-E, and it's helped with your neuropathy.
Yes, it is. It's much. I have to wear slippers at home. I can't go barefoot or even with socks on.
Wow.
So I have to wear that. And I also have the MyPillow pillow and the MyPillow mattress topper and
that mattress topper is unbelievable, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Oh, man.
My wife loves it.
Oh, man. I know, they're all great. Yeah, I know. And by the way, when you use the promo code Kane at checkout, 40% off the MyPillow slippers, 30% off the MyPillow mattress topper, and you get 2 free MyPillows with it. So it's great. Well, that's awesome. Order your MyPillow My Slippers 40% off with the promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E, at MyPillow.com. Or call 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. Promo code Kane, K-A-N-E.
When the pandemic hit America, our nation was caught off guard and unprepared. One of the biggest problems was we didn't have enough PPE because everything was made in China. There is a solution to this problem. Small Business Development Group has formed strategic manufacturers to produce medical exam gloves and associated raw materials right here in the USA. This way, supply chain issues will never be a problem again. This project is U.S. funded, owned, and managed. Best of all, it's without reliance on the foreign supply chain. Investing in this critical infrastructure is important to the safety and defense of America. Now, here's where you come in. If you're an entrepreneur, venture capitalist, or high net worth individual interested in this investment opportunity, contact Small Business Development Group at 919 area code 654-6870. 919 area code 654-6870. Learn more about this incredible opportunity. 919-654-6870.
Small Business Development is a publicly traded company. Stock symbol SBDG. Online at c2cpic.com. Find strategic manufacturers online at strategicmanufacturers.com.
Hello, this is Mike at Friendly Tire. I've been in business 30 years at the same location and offering great deals on new and used tires. I have many suppliers. Whatever car or truck you have, I can get you incredible deals on any tire. I also do tire repairs at very low prices. Give me a call. My number is 954-977-9445. I will give you a price over the phone on new and used tires. Again, my number is 954-977-9445. Thank you.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by Attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782.
You are listening to South Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. To call the show toll-free, dial 1-888-GO-KANE. 1-888-GO-KANE.
All righty. Oh, man. 6 minutes after the hour, I am Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE, 1-888-465-2631. It is open phone so long as you're relevant to the topics I brought up since 6 a.m., because I brought up a lot of things since 6 a.m. that I think are interesting for discussion. 1-888-GO-KANE, 1. And as I was saying, Steve and his whole family are sick with a cold or a flu pretty bad. They all were COVID tested. Everyone was negative, but still pretty sick and under the weather. Hopefully he'll be back. Well, it's early in the week. Tomorrow's the middle of the week already, but hopefully he'll be back on the show soon, but very, very sick. Now, this may not mean much to some of you, but it's a really take on our culture. This is something I found out about this morning, right before I left for the radio station, and it involved Superman and DC Comics. And I don't follow comic books, but of any kind, but I am a fan of Superman. And Superman and comics have been under attack from the woke left for quite some time. There was a recent issue in one of the Superman comics where Superboy, he's the actual child. They have a new comic where the child of Superman and Lois Lane is bisexual, gay. So they made the child of Lois Lane and Superman gay, and they've really been trying very hard to make Superman all these terrible things, because Superman fights for truth, justice, and the American way, and the left hate truth, justice, and the American way. You heard those girls from Arizona State that hate cops and white people, and the American way is colonialism, they say. You know how the wokesters are. So they're trying to tear down Superman. In fact, the Supergirl TV show in its most recent season, I don't watch the show anymore. I used to watch it in the beginning, first season, but it lost me. Got too woke. But I read about this and saw the clips online. They had a social justice BLMer on Supergirl attack Supergirl and Superman for rescuing white people, never rescuing black people. There's a whole thing in an episode about this, and Supergirl had to deal with the fact that she was racist. Superman's supposed to be perfect. And they have done something in a recent Superman comic book, and I know people say, who cares about the comic books? Because the kids read them, okay? And what they're trying to do, and they're being very effective, is they're changing our culture, people. They are changing our culture. I was talking earlier, watching The Bachelor last night, where the Bachelor and the wannabe bachelorettes or whatever they are not saying they're looking for the man of their dreams. He's not looking for the woman of their dreams. They're looking for their person. There's no genders. They're looking for their person. Very weird. And what they did in a recent Superman comic is Superman was stripped of his powers, put in prison for 8 months, where he was anally raped daily for 8 months. Superman, truth, justice, and the American way. That's right. And I found the page where he talks about it, and they have Superman on his knees, bent over a chair, without his superpowers. And he's having flashbacks to the 8 months of anal rape that he endured. And this is what Superman says. Every day they would drag me into the interview room. This is Superman talking. Every day they would restrain me in a way that left me exposed and vulnerable. And every day for 8 months, they did things to me. They did things to me while I was forced to look at him. Eventually, with Batman's help, I escaped. But in all these years, I've never been free of it. And they show him bent over, about to get raped. I'll show everybody on YouTube. I mean, and I know this sounds like a minor thing because this is a fictional character. You know, it's not a real person. You know. But American culture, as we know it, is under attack. This is why they're working so hard to get critical race theory in the public schools. Because what's going on here is this brainwashing that's taken place for many, many years in college. What happens, you know, this left-wing nonsense that's been going on in college forever. What happens is kids are brought up by their parents pretty normal. They go to college and they come back liberal. And some people will tell you, this isn't isolated to one person. I've heard this story many times. Parents here in South Florida, they're Jews. They send their kids off to college. They come back after 1 or 2 semesters. They come back during Christmas break. And all of a sudden, they're pro-Palestinian, anti-Israel, talking about, you know, I know, this happens. But what typically happens is they graduate college, they have 4 years of this liberal indoctrination, they get out of college into the real world, and they shake it off. Most of them. Some of them, you know, still stay that way, but most of them, they grow up when they get out of college and get a job and are in the real world. And what critical race theory is all about, and all these other things you're hearing about in the news, is because the left understand this. I said the lifts. That's the liberal and liberal. I combine the words. Lift is whatever I tried to say there. The liberals, the left, they understand that they have their 4 years of indoctrination. They get out of college and they keep some of them, but a lot of them wake up. So what the critical race theory is about is bringing that college level of brainwashing to K through 12, probably even pre-K. And they figure if they have 12 years, if it's pre-K 13 with kindergarten, it's like, they got 14 years with some of these kids, plus 4 years of college. Oh man. They won't shake it off. Okay? They're trying to bring that left-wing brainwashing to the lower level so that there's no way that they'll get rid of it. And over the weekend I got the Kindle version. I got the 1619 book and I started reading it. And the reason I did is because it's always being referenced. This 1619 book is always being referenced. It's always being discussed. And it's so much about what we talk about. I figured, you know what, I should read. I did read the How to Be an Anti-Racist book. That's part of it, which was just a very poorly written book. It's amazing that was written by a college professor. I mean, every chapter is the same. It's hard to distinguish one chapter from the next. The 1619 book's a little different. The author of the 1619 book is the famous woman, I don't remember her name, that brought us all this critical race theory nonsense. The book is much better written. I mean, it's well written. It's sourced, and it reads like a book that was written by an academic. But it is such an angry book. And it's a book filled with a lot of anger, and I don't want to say misinformation because there's factual information. They use what I've seen. I'm in chapter 1, and I'm over 100 pages in. So I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to finish this book. I mean, I don't have time to read so much, but it's a big, thick book. If I had the physical copy of the book, I would refer to it as a bug killer, but I just have the ebook on my phone, so, But the information that it talks about, like the Boston Massacre is the part I'm reading about the Boston Massacre and the American Revolution, and there's factual information there, but the conclusions from all these incidents is consumed with anger towards whites. And I don't like to call a book dangerous because that's, I'm not a book burner. I think everything should be available and people should be able to decide on their own. But this book brings with it such a credibility, unfortunately, because it's written by a well-educated academic. The How to Be an Anti-Racist looks like it was written by a child. If you go and get that book, that's what it's like. Okay? 1619 is written by a well-educated academic that has talent when it comes to writing, and it has that background. It has the background of being supported by school districts. It has the background of being supported by the New York Times and reviewers and all kinds of other people. It brings a credibility to it. And I know because when I was looking to get the book on Apple Books and Amazon, I know a lot of people have written responses to they've written books that are responses to the 1619 project. That's not going to do it. What we really truly need is a well-respected academic, somebody like Ben Carson, and I don't mean just because Ben Carson's black. It would be best if it was an African-American, conservative, educator, professor, academic of some kind who could be the counter to this book. A lot of people have thought over the years that Howard Zinn's American history book was dangerous. Dinesh D'Souza has talked about that in one of his movies, and he's right. Howard Zinn's book, oh my goodness, I read that book, and so many of these lefties running around, that's their Bible, is Howard Zinn. 1619 is like the Rules for Radicals was to that generation. In the 70s, in the 60s, whenever that was, the Rules for Radicals generation, the Hillary Clintons, The 1619 Project is that to this generation. Those ASU students I was talking about. And it's a frightening book because it's being treated as a credible history book that is not just circulated in our colleges, but the curriculum from it is being used in our elementary, middle, and high schools in this country. And these parents that you see so pissed off at the Loudoun County School Board and elsewhere over critical race theory, their concerns are justified when you read this book, because I even find myself reading it. You know, when I'm telling you, I was reading the portions about some portions about George Washington and what got him to join the Revolution, and Thomas Jefferson, and even I was finding myself being pulled in to this radical way of thinking. What this book is going to do is change a generation, maybe 2 generations, minds against not only this country today, but everything this country is about. And it really pains me to say this, because I don't like to say this about books. It's a dangerous book, the 1619 Project. I'm going to continue to read it, because to understand what they're doing and to be critical of it, I should read it and be informed. So that's why I'm doing it. But let me tell you, President Trump's having his first rally in about a week and a half out in Arizona. Critical race theory, I think, will be a big, big issue in the midterm elections, and it should be. Because if this is allowed to continue, if this is allowed to make its way into our school system, it is something that we may never be able to get out of. It's a complete rewriting of the American history. It's almost like if I want to learn, if I'm teaching about the American Revolution in the public schools, you know, K through 12, I want books that are written from the American perspective. I don't want books coming out of England about the American Revolution. That's okay in college. What I'm talking about in K through 12, I don't want students in American schools, public schools, to learn about the American Revolution from the British perspective, although their perspective would be mild compared to what I'm reading in the 1619 Project. And it will be damage done that we may not be able to undo. Those 2 girls from ASU that I played the audio from in the last hour, they're the product of the 1619 Project. That's where their mindset comes from. All right, we're going to take our first break of the 3rd hour. It's 20 minutes after the hour. My name's Brian Craig. You are listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. We'll take our break and be back right after this. Do not go anywhere.
Hi, Tom Laporta here. Laporta Contracting, Roofing, and Building Restoration. We survived the 2021 hurricane season. Now it's time to get your building envelope ready for the next season. Laporta Contracting installs all types of roofs, from asphalt, clay, and concrete, standing metal seam, flat roofs, and slate tile systems. Our building restoration offers complete envelope protection to include siding, stucco, concrete restoration, impact windows and doors, weatherproofing, and painting. Laporta Contracting serves single-family, multifamily, HOAs, and commercial properties. Call Laporta Contracting today for a free evaluation and estimate, and go to our website to see our team and past customer videos at laportacontracting.com. Our number is 954-604-4602. That number again is 954-604-4602. And thanks for listening to The Steve Kane Show.
When the pandemic hit America, our nation was caught off guard and unprepared. One of the biggest problems was we didn't have enough PPE because everything was made in China. There is a solution to this problem. Small Business Development Group has formed strategic manufacturers to produce medical exam gloves and associated raw materials right here in the USA. This way, supply chain issues will never be a problem again. This project is U.S. funded, owned, and managed. Best of all, it's without reliance on the foreign supply supply chain. Investing in this critical infrastructure is important to the safety and defense of America. Now, here's where you come in. If you're an entrepreneur, venture capitalist, or high net worth individual interested in this investment opportunity, contact Small Business Development Group at 919 area code 654-6870. 919 area code 654-6870. Learn more about this incredible opportunity. 919-654-6870.
Small Business Development Group is a publicly traded company. Stock symbol SBDG. Online at c2cpic.com. Find strategic manufacturers online at strategicmanufacturers.com.
Hello, this is Mike at Friendly Tire. I've been in business 30 years at the same location and offering great deals on new and used tires. I have many suppliers. Whatever car or truck you have, I can get you incredible deals on any tire. I also do tire repairs at very low prices. Give me a call. My number is 954-977-9445. I will give you a price over the phone on new and used tires. Again, my number is 954-977-9445. Thank you.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for W.
All right, welcome back, everyone. 23 minutes after the hour. My name is Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show, on the radio since 1977. All right, now, two big announcements came out of the Democrat House yesterday. Bobby Rush is not running for re-election. This guy's been a Democrat since, forever. And that means there is about, don't have the exact number on this, but about 20%, think about this, about 20%, it may be a little more than that, but I'm being conservative in this number. About 20% of the House Democrats are not seeking re-election. And that's because they don't want to go down. They don't want to go down in a humiliation. They want to go out as a congressman, and that's what's going on with Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi, it's already coming out. See, this got leaked out when this move to Florida came. That was real. I know they debunked it and said it's not true. What happened is Pelosi got hooked up with Mika Brzezinski and Joe Scarborough, who live in Jupiter, Florida, and they were telling her what a great place Jupiter, Florida is to live, and it is. Oh man, Jupiter's beautiful. And that's where they have the lighthouse, that's where we have the Trump boat parades. And Pelosi did not realize that it was the most MAGA community you could possibly find. That whole area, Jupiter, Stuart, Florida, those are the most MAGA areas on the planet. It really is. I mean, it's amazing. So she changed her mind, but she was looking for a retirement home, and she was looking to make Florida her primary residence because we do not have a state income tax. And now it's coming out that Pelosi is planning on retiring because, like Bobby Rush and these other Democrats, she wants to retire as Speaker, not be tossed out of office. There have been speakers that have lost elections. I think, did Dennis Hazard, was he Speaker when he lost? He had some problems later. Remember him? He was Speaker after Newt. But it's better to go out on top than go out as a loser. So Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats in the House of Representatives are expecting to lose. It's it's hopeless. People don't walk away from these jobs. You know, being Speaker of the House, you're treated like the president. You have your own plane, like Air Force One, on call anytime you want it. She takes it back to San Francisco every week. She used to. I don't know if she's doing it these days. You have a Secret Service detail like the president. You get the daily presidential briefing you get. And there's a lot of prestige with that. People don't walk away from these things that easily. You know, and same thing for just a regular House member. A regular House member, when they walk into a room, everyone stands up and wants to hear what they say. People don't walk away from this. Nancy Pelosi and the rest expect a huge loss, and that's why they are retiring. And they feel now she would win her seat, Pelosi, but she won't maintain the speakership. Now, unfortunately, we've got the man that I call the Judas of Mar-a-Lago, Kevin McCarthy. Has Kevin McCarthy yet spoken out strongly against the ban that Marjorie Taylor Greene received, the great, wonderful Marjorie Taylor Greene received, my favorite member in the House of Representatives? Has he commented on her ban from the Twitter yet, or suspension from the Facebook? Remember that jerk? He took her off some committees. So I'm not happy about any of that. Okay, he's not who I want to be Speaker. We may be stuck with him, and he's not going to be any better than Paul Ryan. President Trump could have gotten everything done in those first 2 years if those snakes, Mitch McConnell and Paul Ryan, weren't working against him and controlled everything. So I don't think, taking back both houses of Congress would be spectacular, but don't get too excited with Kevin McCarthy as Speaker. He'll be Paul Ryan too. But I will be happy to see Nancy Pelosi retire. All right, let's take some calls. 1-888-GO-CANE-1. That's the number, 888-465-2631. There's one opening on the board, and all of these calls are screenless. I don't know who called first, last, or anything else. So this is all random. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name?
Hey, Brian. It's Greg. How are you doing?
Hey, Greg. Greg, too. Yes.
Yes. Listen, first
Steve
of all,
Kane Show.
That conversation with Andrea.
Hey, Barry.
Here's the thing. I don't understand what you do.
Oh, hold on. I got it. Hold on, Greg. I got to put you on hold because I got to take a break. I'm looking at the clock. So I'm going to put you on hold, and I'll let you pollute the airwaves after the break. All right? Hold on. Let's check in with Attorney Barry Siegel from the Siegel Law Group. Attorney Barry Siegel, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing all right. Here we are in the new year, and they say, death and taxes, and, you help people so much with that not just, after they're gone, but when people in those final years of life or need health care at home or in a nursing home, you do all kinds of things to help people.
And of course, first of all, Happy New Year to you and Steve and to everyone in the audience. So we've been talking during the days leading up to the new year about New Year's resolutions. And hopefully, if anybody is going to be making them, they've made them and working on carrying them out now. But right now, instead of resolutions, I want to talk about solutions. And the solutions, when it comes to estate planning and asset protection from long-term care, which is elder law, it's really about taking action and doing something about it. It's one of those things we put on the back burner. So making sure we have an up-to-date revocable living trust, an up-to-date power of attorney, an up-to-date healthcare document with the right people in place, with the right state, the correct state laws, and all of that. And also making sure you have the proper language to make sure you or your spouse don't go broke simply because you didn't prepare ahead of time for long-term care. So if you don't have long-term care insurance or enough long-term care insurance, you should take some action and have everything reviewed and give us a call.
Yeah, and, a sad thing, and this does not have to happen, a sad thing, those last year or two of life, oftentimes, that's when things get very costly for people. And oftentimes a surviving spouse is left penniless and without even a home sometimes, right? And it doesn't have to be that way. Attorney Barry Siegel and the Siegel Law Group, call them up. Talk to them about Medicaid planning, all right? Medicaid planning. It's an area of the practice at the Siegel Law Group that I've never heard of anyone doing quite like you guys do. And I've talked to listeners who have had their families saved by you, Barry, and they're always very grateful. It's always a free consultation with the Siegel Law Group. If you mention you heard them on the radio, the number toll-free, 855-FLA-3782. 855-FLA-3782. Online, SiegelLawGroup.com. Attorney Barry Siegel. We'll talk later in the week.
Sounds good.
All right, take care. Back right after this. Don't go anywhere.
You need a COVID test? Maybe you need a COVID test for work or school. Stop by Any Lab Test Now of Boca or Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. They offer all the COVID testing panels you need at the lowest prices, including the antibody test. Results in 15 minutes. Any Lab Test Now of Boca is located in the Sandalfoot Plaza, where Western Beef is, south of Palmetto Park Road and north of Hillsborough on the east side of 441 State Road 7. Call 561-237-5009. Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs is located on the southeast corner of University Drive in Ramblewood, near the Coral Square Mall in Coral Springs. Call 954-906-5983. Make sure to tell them you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show.
When the pandemic hit America, our nation was caught off guard and unprepared. One of the biggest problems was we didn't have enough PPE because everything was made in China. There is a solution to this problem. Small Business Development Group has formed strategic manufacturers to produce medical exam gloves and associated raw materials right here in the USA. This way, supply chain issues will never be a problem again. This project is U.S. funded, owned, and managed. Best of all, it's without reliance on the foreign supply chain. Investing in this critical infrastructure is important to the safety and defense of America. Now, here's where you come in. If you're an entrepreneur, venture capitalist, or high net worth individual interested in this investment opportunity, contact Small Business Development Group at 919 area code 654-6870. 919 area code 654-6870. Learn more about this incredible opportunity. 919-654-6870.
Small Business Development Group is a publicly traded company. Stock symbol SBDG. Online at c2cpic.com. Find strategic manufacturers online at strategicmanufacturers.com.
If you suffer with diabetes, there's a 25% chance that you'll develop a foot ulcer that can lead to severe health consequences, including amputation. At the sole authority, at little or no cost, you can receive your very own therapeutic shoes and custom inserts. Medicare recipients are entitled to 1 pair of quality diabetic shoes and 3 custom inserts. Call the sole authority today, 954-597-7060.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio.
All right, welcome back. 34 minutes after the hour. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. We only have one opening on our board, 1-888-465-2631. All right, Greg 2.
Yes, Brian. Yeah, I've been on hold. Thanks for still taking my call. Listen, a couple of topics I want to address with you, if I could. First of all, Andrea, you bring up, she said something that was so offensive to your wife, but you won't...
No, to me.
To you, but your wife knows about it, correct?
Well, many people saw it because it was in the chat room of the show on YouTube.
What was the comment? Why won't you tell the listening audience what the comment?
Because I'm not going to.
But you brought it up to her, and
yeah, well, I did. Yeah, I did. Yes.
And
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Excuse me. I'm not going. Listen, I know you feel best. You feel good when you think others feel bad, and I know you want some information. So you want some negative information so you can try to feel good this morning, but you're not going to get it from me.
Okay, I just thought it was interesting. She couldn't even recall it, and you continue to take her calls and give her a lot of time on your show, but she couldn't even remember it. That's like kind of disturbing.
Well, hey, listen. When I will credit you with this. When you're talking about disturbing, at least it's an area that you obviously have some experience with yourself. An area of expertise.
Have I ever said anything?
No, well, you're disturbed. I mean, you're not like a together guy.
No, I am together. Trust me. I don't say
sure
to stuff you because I respect you. I respect people. And
all right. So what's on your mind? I'm going to move. I got a bunch of calls here. I'm wasting time with you.
All right. Here. Also, as far as that Arizona State University, student, that is we got to focus in. That's a negative, Brian. There's not.
I'm not going to let some Trump hater tell me what we need to focus in on.
No, what I'm saying is there's not, my children don't speak in that way. Most people don't speak in that way. That's a small minority of
Sadly, it's not. It's just, see, the problem with you is you don't associate with a diverse group of people, and you don't really understand what's going on out there in the world. And sadly, a huge, very large percentage of the young African American community feel like those two girls, and many white liberals, because of their white liberal guilt, agree with them too. No, it's not a small percentage. It's a generation. It's the millennials and those younger than them.
Here's your question, then. Why aren't my children speaking like that?
I guess you're just a perfect parent, and they're not exposed to people.
Who's a perfect parent? I'm just saying this is not the way they think.
Okay.
Smart.
Well, write a parenting book. Write a parenting book and publish it, because the parents of America can use you. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning. This is Richie.
Oh, hey, Richie.
This is a lawyer that just talked to you, okay? And he says this is a small amount of people.
Yeah, a whole generation of Americans.
Yeah, let him know this, that on January 13th, the Democratic Party, with the head of the Senate, Schumer, is trying to change the election.
Oh, you're talking about voting rights? I keep hearing them talk about voting rights. I don't hear them list what these rights are that are being denied. Yeah, I know. Yes. That's correct. And you know what? I'm going to stand with Senator Schumer, and as well as the governor of New York. He's the senior senator from New York and the governor of New York, who recently said racism is a public health crisis, that we've got to end systemic racism. I am calling on Charles Schumer to endorse an African American person to replace him in the Senate, so we can have some diversity and Senate representation, especially from New York. And also, I'm calling on the white governor of New York to endorse someone who's African American and announce she's not running, so that we can end systemic racism in New York politics. I think that's a great proposal. Yeah.
The whole Democratic Party, not a small amount of people in the country.
See, this is what's going on. Trump cost the blacks in large numbers, caused blacks in large numbers to go Republican. The Democrats are trying to get blacks back home bad, and they're using this critical race theory as one of their tools. They're using this to make them angry at white people, to bring them back home to the Democrat Party.
Well, he also is.
Yeah, but he's a Trump-hating liberal. See, we're sharing the secret, their secret plan out on the air. That's what he's upset about.
Oh yeah, and Trump actually got in the way of Obama, who wanted to change the country too. There were all these people back Angela Davis days, that Joey, the one that's in Cuba now that killed the cop.
Yeah.
Bill Ayers always were revolutionaries. Now they're in the Democratic Party. They're in the media. They're all over the place, and it's not paranoia. I've seen this happen. It's not good for this country to have whites against blacks and blacks against them.
We had gotten through, we had full equality. If you were writing a history of the civil rights movement in America, the last page would be Barack Obama's second inauguration. Okay? He wasn't just elected, but re-elected, which shows it wasn't a fluke. And we had perfect race relations, especially with the greatest president ever, Donald Trump. And the Democrats maintain power through division: black against white, gay against Christian, cisgender, whatever that is, against whatever other genders they got. Everything the Democrats do, because when we're united as Americans, we unite against them.
But you have Trump being called out by a lot of black leaders as a white supremacist and all sorts of Nazi and every other thing when he was the president of the United States. This was
President Trump was Mar-a-Lago was the first private club in Palm Beach to allow blacks and Jews to be members. All those Democrat clubs were segregationist. He integrated Mar-a-Lago, which was very controversial at the time, because these liberals up in Palm Beach
And the last thing I want to say is, he called me yesterday an angry man, and you said don't attack callers. I appreciate that, but I am angry. But
I called you an angry man yesterday?
Not you. Greg too called me angry.
Oh, Greg too. Yes, Greg too. Greg too. Yeah.
And I'm angry, not angry, but I'm upset of what's going on in this country right now. I want everyone to have a...
Well, you know, this is, and it's probably worse for you than it is for me because of our age differences, you know, but sometimes I feel like I don't belong anymore. Like I'm a man from another time. I'm like Austin Powers.
I walk with people with my dogs. I walk with people at night. They're of my age, and they think that this country has gone popsy. They're gone totally nuts.
Yeah.
Cannot believe it. I mean, they can't. Listen, not for nothing. I'm going to say the last thing. I went into Publix yesterday. I love Nathan French fries, brother. They've been out of them for 3 months. There's no French fries in any of the.
Oh my goodness.
And I always got them at $4.69 for a bag. You know what it is today? No, it was $3.69. Now it's $4.19.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it went up 50 cents.
Yeah.
Killing.
No, the price of everything has gone up, and and look at coffee. Coffee is becoming a luxury. I mean, it's becoming like a top shelf liquor. Jacqueline, $50 super chat. Thank you. Everyone thank Jacqueline. Brian, you're an awesome talk show host. You have a lot of support. We have you back. Go Trump. Well, thank you, Jacqueline.
Yeah. Greg too would open up his eyes to see what's going on in the world.
Yeah, his eyes are open, but he's on the other side. All right, Richie, take care. Richie, the bus driver. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, Jeff from Maine.
Hey, Jeff, what's up?
Hey, I don't think Andrea in any shape, form, or manner ever thought or trying to intend to be offensive. And I think sometimes we do come off the wrong way. And I think when she apologized and kind of got quiet on the chat, she was upset. But
well, that's okay. It's okay for people to get upset.
Yes, but with conservatives, I believe that we apologize, we give forgiveness, and we move on. I think this is an issue that we could all learn from. But Andrea is very well welcomed here. And
I didn't tell Andrea to leave.
But she felt like, she went quiet for quite a while and hasn't chatted on the chat. And I immediately chatted out, love you, Andrea.
Well, I heard, some people have said to me, I should have talked to Andrea privately. First off, I should not be talking to women privately in the listening audience. Okay, that's number one. That's number one. Number two, the incident that happened publicly in the chat room on YouTube during my podcast last night, and people took screenshots and sent them to me and my wife. Okay, and so for both of the reasons I stated, I think it was appropriate to talk about it publicly. I don't think I did anything wrong I call everybody out. And by the way, I am here to be called out myself. I take calls screenless on this program. Anyone listening to this program or watching us on YouTube or listening on the radio in their car, anyone can call me and Steve Kane anytime and call us out on anything you want. And if that doesn't happen, it's because you all aren't doing it. We're here.
And if Andrea's listening, all I would want to say to her is you're loved and appreciated, and you should stick around because all of our opinions matter. That's what makes America great. I might not agree with liberals, and I learned this from you, Brian, but we need to debate them, and we need to be...
Listen, President Reagan said that if you agree with me 80% of the time, you're in the big tent of the Republican Party. We are not going to agree all the time. Okay? And that's okay. That's okay. What happens when you do that is you set up a standard that can't be achieved, and we have no unity. And we're in a bad state right now. But I got to take a break, and I'll talk about what the problem we have right now in the Republican Party is. But hey, Jeff, take care. I got to run for the Gold Report. We'll be right back with the Gold Report with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated after this. Don't go anywhere.
America, our nation was caught off guard and unprepared. One of the biggest problems was we didn't have enough PPE because everything was made in China. There is a solution to this problem. Small Business Development Group has formed strategic manufacturers to produce medical exam gloves and associated raw materials right here in the USA. This way, supply chain issues will never be a problem again. This project is U.S. funded, owned, and managed. Best of all, it's without reliance on the foreign supply chain. Investing in this critical infrastructure is important to the safety and defense of America. Now, here's where you come in. If you're an entrepreneur, venture capitalist, or high net worth individual interested in this investment opportunity, contact Small Business Development Group at 919 area code 654-6870. 919 area code 654-6870. Learn more about this incredible opportunity. 919-654-6870.
Small Business Development Group is a publicly traded company. Stock symbol SBDG. Online at c2cpic.com. Find strategic manufacturers online at strategicmanufacturers.com.
Hello, this is Mike at
Steve Kane Show.
I've been in business 30 years at the same location and offer
Hold on, I got to put you on hold.
used tires. I have many suppliers. Whatever car or truck you have, your incredible deals on any tire. I also do tire repairs at very low prices. Give me a call.
Hey there.
My number is 954-977-9445. I will give you a price over the phone on new and used tires. Again, my number is 954-977-9445. Thank you.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for W.
All right, 48 minutes after the hour, I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. Hopefully Steve will be back tomorrow. He and his whole family have a very, very, very bad cold or flu. They were all COVID tested yesterday. Results negative, thankfully so. His wife Lori and son and Steve all sick as a dog. All right, it's time to check in with William Youngerman with the Morning Gold and Precious Metals Report, live from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated right here in Boca. William Youngerman, good morning.
Good morning, Brian.
Good. How are the metals looking?
Metals are looking good, actually. They took us down on profit taking and a beginning of a new year, giving us a great buying opportunity yesterday, which a lot of people took advantage of. Gold closing down $28.40 at $1,801.40 after trading in a range of $1,798 to $1,833 yesterday. So a good buying opportunity yesterday as we got down to that support level of 1,800. Silver down 43 cents yesterday, closing at 22.87, trading in a range from 22.65 to 23.48. Platinum was down $9 at 9.54, and palladium was down $84 at $1,761. This morning, gold up $3.10 right now, trading in a range so far from $1,799 to $1,810. Currently at $1804.50. Silver up 3 cents right now at $22.90. Platinum up $10 at $9.64, and palladium up $64 at $1,825. The strong U.S. dollar continues to put pressure on gold. Oil, though, just under $77 a barrel. So the inflationary factors are still out there, very strong, and will continue to probably support gold going forward.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, everything else is going up. Certainly the metal's got to be a part of that. Now, can you tell people, William Youngerman, who may not be able to make it in, maybe they're local and can't make it to your shop, or maybe they're out of town or out of state, how they can do business with you no matter where they are?
Certainly. We've been shipping rare coins and precious metals all over the world for over 50 years. So all you have to do is call us on our toll-free number, lock in a price on any of the precious metals that you want, and then we can either send us a check, overnight us a check, wire us the money. As soon as we get the funds, the metals are shipped out fully insured to you'll have it the very next day. So it's no problem doing that, and you'll save a lot of money.
Oh, yeah. You certainly will. Okay, now that number, they open up over there at 10 o'clock weekdays. The number toll-free, 1-800-327-5010, 1-800-327-5010. Online, WilliamYoungerman.com. And the address, 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca, on the first floor of the Bank of America building, just east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto Park Road. All right, William Youngerman, we will talk tomorrow. All right, take care. All right, back to the phones, and then I'll tell you the problem we have as Republicans right now. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. Thank you for accepting my call. I'm calling from Deerfield Beach.
Mm-hmm.
Next year's studio. I just wanted to. I saw something about DeSantis. Unfortunately, it was on the Fox website. Unfortunately, his wife is going through a certain situation.
No, she has cancer. His wife has cancer.
And the left said that he left our state in a disarray.
Yeah. Yeah, they were doing this thing. Where's Ron DeSantis? He's nowhere to be seen, they said, yes.
Yes. And I feel that I just don't know why these people are going after such a great governor.
Oh, that's obvious, because he's so great. And he is going to be the second MAGA president. And he's so perfect. And, you know, this is the thing. They were asking...
It's going medical. And how could you do that?
And not only that, not only is the First Lady of Florida dealing with cancer, she's going through treatment, she's raising a young child. And I have not seen treatment of a woman like this since the left went after Sarah Palin and her daughter. And you know, here's the thing. Where's Ron DeSantis? They were trying to get this catchphrase meme crap going. Ron DeSantis is the most active governor. He's perfect. Everything he's done is spectacular. He has a press conference pretty much every day. He is the hardest working governor in the history of American governors. And where's their governor? You know, where's their governor? You know, this new lady governor of New York, she had a press conference. Racism's a public health crisis. You can't cross the street in New York without getting mugged and jacked up and robbed, you know, and she's worried about diversity. You know, give me a break. You know, where are their governors?
I mean, he is phenomenal. He is just, I mean, I lived here all my life. I remember Lawton Child. Remember Lawton Child?
Yeah, Walkin' Lawton, yes. Yes, he died on the treadmill in the governor's mansion.
Exactly. I just don't understand. When I saw that, I was just like, that is the most, it's despicable.
Well, they're Democrats. Democrats are low-life people. They have no dignity. They have no honor. And you know, here's the thing. Okay, here's the thing. If you went to every state in the union, all 50 of them, and you looked at how they handled everything with the pandemic, Florida is the model, the textbook model. And you know, when that pandemic happened, when it first happened, it was scary, right? And it wasn't just that we couldn't get toilet paper. The grocery store shelves were empty for a couple of days. You remember this. And we didn't know what was going to happen. And it was the scariest time since the early days of the AIDS crisis. And I haven't felt that way since 9/11. You know, we didn't know what was happening. And Ron DeSantis kept Florida open the whole time. He kept us together the whole time. And things in Florida are perfect. He brought here during the pandemic. He said to the NBA, come to Florida. They set up the NBA bubble at Disney World. He said to the NFL, bring the Super Bowl here, and they did. He said to pro football and college football, don't suspend your programs, play in Florida. We have stadiums all over Florida. And the economy is booming. And I know we've got a major Omicron outbreak right now. That's a fact. But
all these people from New York.
That's right.
Yes.
The tourists coming down here. Yes.
They work in property management, and everybody's coming down here. I see the license plates in Pennsylvania, New York.
They're bringing lots with them. They're bringing the COVID. That's why there's an increase in Florida. It's the tourists for the holiday season.
Exactly.
Yes.
But I just wanted to shout out for you. Especially Steve Kane. I hope his family is doing much. I mean, I understand what's going on, but I hope everything's okay with them, and I have my blessing.
Yeah, they're recovering, but Steve got it last, right? It started with Steve's son, then it started with Lori, and then Steve was last, and his son is cured. Lori is much, much better, but Steve's earlier on in it because he got it last. So that's the way it is. But they all got COVID tested, Steve, and it's all negative, so that's good news.
Listen to this. I've been property management. I've been conversing. I'm on property. I've been conversing with everybody. I've been, and I've been COVID tested, lab test 1. Thank you. I just want to say a shout out to you, Steve Kane. I hope everything's okay. And our great Governor Ron DeSantis.
The greatest governor ever, and we have him because of the greatest president ever. Donald Trump endorsed him. We would have had that Andrew Gillum, who was passed out on the floor in his vomit with the gay prostitute with the drugs in the bed in the Miami hotel room. Okay, that would have been our governor. We'd still be locked down if Gillum would have pulled it. Hey, listen, I'm out of time, but thanks for the call. And I want to tell everyone, for Valentine's Day, there's no greater gift than MyPillow. Go to MyPillow.com. Use the promo code Kane at checkout, and the MyPillow bathrobes, his and hers, 30% off with the promo code Kane, Kane. A great deal. That makes a great gift for Valentine's Day. They have many different colors, a lot of new colors in, styles for both men and women. And with that MyPillow, his and her bathrobes, make sure you get the MyPillow, My Slippers, 40% off with the promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. And of course, finish that off with the new sleepwear for both men and women, 30% off at MyPillow.com with the promo code Kane, Kane. This is a great Valentine's Day gift package that I'm telling you about here. You can also order by phone, 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. Promo code Kane, Kane. All right, guys, thanks for listening. I'll talk to you tomorrow, 6 a.m. Have a great day. See you then.
Got you covered. AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
All right, guys, listen. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you like the video before you go. If you're new here, subscribe, click the notification bell. All right, I got to run. I got a meeting I got to head off to, but I'll see you later. All right, thanks again, everyone.